Well. The Cowboys got beat by the Minnesota Vikings. And Cowboy fans are in disarray right now. I mean, we're wondering what should we do? Because many of us have been planning on playoff parties this year and the Cowboys getting over the hump and overachieving and all these things. So what should we do? Should we just stop being Cowboy fans? Should we just be done with the Cowboys? What should we do? We must remain true to this. We must remain true to this. We are Dallas Cowboys fans. I told y'all it was always about 2026, but we're not done. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G. I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We still got a lot more content coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. It is what it is, Cowboy fans. We got beat by the Minnesota Vikings. And as R. Kelly said, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You either gonna choose to stay with this team or you're gonna choose to go. And I choose to stay. Because I still say, I told y'all from the beginning, 2026 is the season for the Cowboys. I told y'all the Cowboys were going to flash in 2025. The Cowboys have flashed. They flashed at certain points in the season. They flashed in the beginning of the season with 40-point games. They flashed when they beat the Raiders, the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, 3 games in a row. They flashed. And the Cowboys, they're still not done flashing, because I got a strange feeling the Cowboys may absolutely tick us off in their next football game, because everybody's going to be mad when the Cowboys beat the Los Angeles Chargers. And the question is going to be, how do you beat the Los Angeles Chargers and you don't beat the Minnesota Vikings? I got another strange feeling. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to lose games that we needed them to lose. And then we're going to be saying, had we won, we would have been in the playoffs. That's the Dallas Cowboys this year. Rookie head coach made a mistake on the defensive coordinator. Got a lot of former first-round picks. Some didn't pan out. Still got some players that were playing and they didn't pan out and they're not panning out. But nevertheless, we've got a lot of good things going. Our quarterback has been playing at an MVP level, and I told y'all he'll play even better over the next 2 seasons. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Javonte Williams renaissance. We still got some things to do in the run game. We got to get some offensive tackles. We still got work to do. We got Quinnen Williams. Overshown. Let's see if he stays healthy for the remainder of the season. Savon Revel Jr. looks like the real deal. The Cowboys got Kenny Clark. The Cowboys have some things going. You just got to understand. We wouldn't. I said it, and I didn't want to be, because people think you're negative, but we were not going to the Super Bowl in 2025. We were not going in 2025. That's a Herculean feat for a rookie coach to go to the Super Bowl. When you look at how George Seifert did it, that San Francisco 49er team was way better than this Dallas Cowboys team. I know we wanted it. It's not our time. It did not happen. It is not going to happen. At least I say it isn't. But it still isn't over because there is still a chance. Still a chance. Most likely it's not going to happen, but it's still a chance. But I'm still rooting for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going to tell you why as we get this show going. So our topics for today. I figure we'll start off with the 10 overreactions that I have come up with today. 10 overreactions to the Cowboys' loss to the Vikings. Also, so y'all keep hearing Dak Prescott talking about this zero or this cover zero or this zero coverage. So what I'm going to do is I found a video and I'm going to show you how to beat zero coverage. And this is why Dak Prescott is so frustrated. And how when you look at this video, you're going to see how the Dak Prescott haters don't know what they're talking about. Also, I gotta go ahead and admit it. It is time to cut Flus loose. It's time to cut Flus loose. There is, and it's not for the reasons that many of you may believe. It may not be for the reasons that many of you believe, but it's time for the Cowboys to cut Flus loose. Number 4, I am done with Diggs. I'm done with Diggs. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm done with Diggs. And if you were on the live stream last night, you already know why I'm done with Diggs. Diggs did something last night, and what he did last night is the very reason why he didn't play in this game, and I got a strange feeling it's the reason why he doesn't play in the next game. Then, if we have time, we will get to the Brian Schottenheimer press conference and we'll kind of break that down, listen to some of the various pieces of it. I'm sure some of you guys have already heard it. And then I am very interested, though, in the Stephen Jones press conference more than I am the Shotty press conference. So we may actually skip that ahead of Shotty. Because if you heard Shotty once, you heard him 1,000 times. But that's going to be the show for the day. 10 overreactions. How to beat cover zero, cut Flus loose, done with Diggs, Shotty presser, Steven presser. We still Cowboys fans. We got to press on. Let's get a quick roll call in here. Let's go, Cowboys Nation. Let's see who's in the building. Let's go. Star Wars 1, Peace G. All the talking about the boys winning out, winning 8 straight, going back to the Raiders game, straight overreaction. Star Wars. I agree with you to a degree. Good teams do that, Star Wars. Good teams do that. Because Star Wars, do you realize the Denver Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, Star Wars, the Denver Broncos have got to be on a 10-game win streak right now. The Denver Broncos are on a 10-game win streak with Bo Nix. What? With Bo Nix? Now, defense wins championships. They got championship defense over there. So when I look at that defense, I get it. But they're also doing that with Bo Nix, which goes to show you, you don't need Dak Prescott's level of quarterback play to go on an 8-game win streak. We're just going to have to admit it, Star Wars. Our defense, not good enough. Our play calling, not good enough at times. Our situational football, not good enough. Yeah, it wasn't an overreaction, but it is an overreaction because this team isn't ready. Queen, what's going on? The Queen, good evening. Terry Tatum, what's going on? JG for real, what's going on? Lynn from the 903. Hey, Lynn, We're going to deal with Logan Wilson in a minute. Brandy, what's going on? Run it up. What's going on? Run it up 72. Oh my gosh, Angie, I bet the emotions in that stadium were crazy. We got up 23-17, and I'm sure y'all thought we gonna win this thing. Oh man, I feel for you, my sister Angie. Heart goes out to you. I know that's tough. Same thing to you, Tatiana. Heart goes out to you. That had to be a tough one going to a game like that. Lolly, what's going on? Good to see you. JTX made. He said, I'm going to say something a lot of people won't like. I think Shotty needs to hand the play calling off to Clayton Adams so he can focus on the entire team instead of the offense. Yeah, I said it last night. I don't think he's a good play caller at this point, but maybe next year he'll be better. My man JCT Slice, #1 Dak Prescott fan. I'm #2. What's going on? David Duval is up in this thing. Doomsday Cowboys, what's going on with you? Yeah, this defense got whooped in the secondary pretty bad yesterday. I agree with you. What's going on? Mary Dansby, make Jerry retire. Hey, Mary, I got to be honest with you, though. Jerry may still be up for GM of the year. Nah, I'm not going to dog Jerry just this year. Jerry has done a great job this year. Jerry, I think the mistake that he made was hiring Matt Eberflus. But he's made a lot of great moves, too. Tough. It's tough. It's tough on that one, but I question when they first hired him. Brandon Cup, what's going on? He said, what up, G Nation? He said we should have never let Al Harris get away. Also, knew this was a building year. We all want the Super Bowl and it's coming. Multiples, book it. Yeah, 2026, I always said was going to be it. Yeah, Derek Grimsley said he's never seen a defense so bad. What's going on? Bobby in this thing. Horace Fisher, what is going on? Good to see y'all. Cody Lee up in here. My man Lock and D. Clank Clank. What's going on, Lock and D? This was a building year. Yeah, I said it all along. Bohan Yankovic, what's going on? What is going on? He said big work waiting this offseason. Yes, sir. We love our Cowboys and we believe. Yeah. No point in giving up on the Cowboys. All right, guys, let's get this thing going. We're going to do some more. KH, he said, floose loose. He said, not an overreaction. All right. Like I said, man, glad y'all rocking with me. 70s Fan Show. Mr. 72 Chevelle. Yamar, what's going on? Ice Cold Cowboy. Good to see you, my brother. What's going on? Trent Smith Sr., Richard Owens, Jakira. What's going on with you? Good to see you, KH. Yes, sir. That roll call. Quentin Johnson, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Mark Goodrich, what's going on with you? All right, let's get this thing going. All right. Gerald Mays, what's going on? Good to see you in the congregation. Michael Tyree, yeah, he said, what did he say here? Super Bowl caliber offense, second to last in defense. Yes, 7 games, defense allowed 30+ points, 78 in the last 2 weeks. Something has to change. Great stat. Lock and D. Yeah, too many mistakes. And really defensively, too many mistakes. Angela Brewer, what's going on? I'm staying a Cowboys fan. Yeah. My man Dominic Pittman, what's going on? Irving Green, I think 2026 and 2027 is going to be the Cowboys year. I think both of those years will be the Cowboys year. The Cowboys will get that Super Bowl within that time frame. I think it'll be 26, no later than 27. Could be both. The Cowboys got a lot of great pieces right now. They just got to figure out this coaching stand. They got to figure out this coaching part of it. Sky B Faded, what's going on? Yeah, they got to figure out this coach part of it. All right, Ty Howard in the crib, what's going on? All right, so let me give you my 10 overreactions. 10 overreactions to the Cowboys' loss, and then we're going to discuss these throughout the show, I'm sure, as we talk about and listen to certain things that, whether it be listening to Steven, whether it be listening to Brian Schottenheimer, we're going to talk about these 10 overreactions because they will be kind of spread out. We're going to give them up front, but then you'll notice we're going to talk these talking points all through everything that we are going to deal with today. All right, so let me get my list. I got my list ready to go. 10 overreactions. Y'all ready? Let's get this thing going. 10 overreactions. And some of you are going to say, those are not overreactions. Overreaction number 1. The Cowboys should fire Matt Eberflus. The Cowboys should fire Matt Eberflus. The Cowboys should fire Matt Eberflus, not even for some of the reasons that y'all may think. And I'm sure your reasons are legit or legitimate and justified. But I'm going to tell you what my biggest problem is with one Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus is a very stubborn old coach. And he's not even that old. He's very stubborn. He has a certain way he wants to run his defense. And he don't care what the personnel is. He's going to run that defense. He is looking for reasons during the game to fall back into his defense. Case in point. Do y'all realize they started this game defensively like they started the Detroit game? Do y'all remember that the Detroit Lions game started the way we anticipated it starting? We thought it was going to start with the Cowboys just running Jared Goff all over the field, making him make mistakes, and the Cowboys were going to put the game in the hands of one Jared Goff. The Cowboys started off with a sack. James Houston got a sack, and they were chasing him around. And then something happened right around the end of the first quarter that made Matt Eberflus revert back to his way of play calling. Now, that for me isn't even the problem. But let's go even deeper into why it's a problem. Because Matt Eberflus, once a team gets a play or a big play on him, Matt Eberflus goes into the mode of saying, okay, we got to stop the big plays. And the only way to stop the big plays is for me to go back into rush 4, drop 7. That's the only way I can do it. And I'm not going to give up any more big plays. And guess what he winds up doing? He winds up giving up big plays. Matt Eberflus is too conservative. Yeah, Matt Eberflus is actually too conservative to be the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys needs a defensive coordinator that says, I'm going out swinging. I will not allow you to get big plays on me, rushing 4 and dropping 7. I refuse to let you get big plays on me in zone. If you're going to get big plays on me, I'm sitting in the house. I'm sitting in the house. I am always, if I don't have the pass rusher that I need, I'm not going to pout and cry about it by calling defensive plays to where I can't get to the pass where I can't get to the quarterback. I'm going to manufacture quarterback pressure. Matt Eberflus needs to be fired because DeMarion overshone last night. We saw one flash of a blitz. DeMarion overshone. Outside of Quinnen Williams, he is the most destructive weapon on defense. And you are not utilizing him. And when you cannot utilize what you have rather than exposing what you don't have, I don't need you. You're out of here. You're out of here. I'm not even crying about the points. I'm not even crying about the mistakes. My problem is you go into a defense that says I'm not giving up big plays. You get conservative and you give up big plays. Bro, I can go with you if you say, hey, we don't have the players. I'm sitting in the kitchen sink. I'm gonna take all the risk, but I'm telling you this, I'm going out swinging. I got you, bro. I got you. I'll defend you. I'll defend you against everybody if you'll show me that you're trying. Because in the beginning, Matt was trying. Matt gets a couple of plays on him. He stops trying. Bro, you gotta stop being afraid to get scored on because you're getting scored on. What? I'm telling you now, if the Cowboys get beat by the same score last night and they would have blitzed 60% of that game, I would be on here right now defending Matt Eberflus. Right now. I'd be defending him. Because I would be telling y'all, this dude sent everything but the kitchen sink. But Matt Eberflus is too stubborn. He's too stubborn. He's too passive. Not aggressive enough. He doesn't even match Brian Schottenheimer. I'm not tripping about he's not a rah-rah guy. But that's not the coach for me. I need a I need a rah-rah guy. I need a guy that gets busy, gets down and get busy. I need somebody animated on that sideline. I also need somebody who calls plays, who is not afraid, who is aggressive, who's willing to take chances, who's willing to say, if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me. You're going to beat me trying. I can't do it. Can't do it. Matt Eberflus, I'm not tripping on the points. I'm not tripping on the mistakes. I'm not tripping on the stuff that a lot of people are tripping on. But what I am tripping on, bro, I can't deal with you being afraid. I can't deal with you going into prevent and you're not preventing anything. I can't go with you not blitzing 60% of the time when you know you traded away Michael Parsons. I can't go with you. I can't go with you not utilizing DeMarion Overshawn. I can't go with you not moving around Ezra Raku. I can't go with you when you take Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams off the field at the same time. I can't go with you. I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Overreaction number one. Matt Eberflus needs to be fired. Overreaction number two. The Cowboys need a top-notch play caller. Brian Schottenheimer is not a top-notch play caller. I said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it. My problem with Brian Schottenheimer, he's benefiting more from elite players than elite players are benefiting from him. He is benefiting from Dak Prescott playing out of his mind. Dak Prescott avoiding sacks. Dak Prescott extending plays. Dak Prescott being Houdini, making crazy tight window throws. He is relying on the yak of CeeDee Lamb, the yards after the catch. He's relying on the ability of one George Pickens. But You say, but he should. But what I'm telling you is, but they should also be benefiting from his play calling. They should be benefiting from his play calling. He should be putting them in position to use their ability to its fullest. Brian doesn't put them in those situations. His situational football, it's terrible. His clock management, it's terrible. Penalties on this team, terrible. Brian Schottenheimer did something last night that I still don't understand. Brian Schottenheimer did something I still don't understand. The Minnesota Viking player clearly caught a pass. Brian Schottenheimer doesn't even seem like he looked upstairs or kind of went to the guys upstairs and say, did he catch it? Out of panic, he threw the red flag for a replay to challenge it. And he took away one of the timeouts that the Cowboys needed. I mean, we've seen stuff like this from Brian Schottenheimer all year long. Teams are so smart against Brian Schottenheimer. They're willing to now allow Javonte Williams to get a few 10-yard runs, a few 15-yard runs. But they also know that Brian's going to run the ball on first down most of the time. And they also know that if we stop him on first down, he's going to revert to passing the ball on second down. We're going to run the blitz on second down. We're going to make Dak Prescott have to get the ball out of his hand on second down. It's going to be an incomplete pass on second down. And then we're going to get him in third and long on third down. And then the Cowboys are not going to be able to convert third and longs. The Cowboys have suffered on third downs all season long. Why? No creativity. They allow teams to get them in third and longs. Not only do they allow teams to get them in third and longs, but even when he goes for it on fourth down, no good. Not only does he struggle on fourth down, not only does he struggle on third down, not only does he struggle in situational football, one of the worst places that Brian Schottenheimer struggles, red zone. Struggles in the red zone. Struggles so bad in the red zone. Brian Schottenheimer gets near the end zone and he wants to get real fancy. He gets way too fancy in the red zone. Brian Schottenheimer does not know how to use all of the weapons that he has. And I'm just telling y'all, it takes a special kind of coach to have a plethora of weapons and know how to use them. Everybody can't do what Phil Jackson did. That's why Phil Jackson is one of the best basketball coaches to ever coach the game of basketball. Because the thing that he knew how to do well was coach a whole bunch of superstars on the same team. It's the same thing as people who say, hey, man, if I had money, it changed my life. Because right now I only got $5 and I only got $5 to my name. No, the problem isn't that you only have $5 to your name. The problem is that you don't know how to manage money. We could give you $50 million and you would still be broke in a matter of 3 years. You would still be broke. You can give an offensive coordinator superstars, Pro Bowlers all over the field. But if he doesn't know how to call plays for all of those Pro Bowlers, they are going to underachieve. How have we underachieved under Brian Schottenheimer's play calling? Somebody says, but we scored 26 points. Do y'all know we got players that are so good, we should be scoring 46 points? We should literally be putting up 35 plus a game with these players. We have never, I can't remember hardly a point in the season, maybe the Kansas City Chiefs game, but I have struggled with, okay, we either get CeeDee Lamb going or we get George Pickens going. We either get George Pickens going or we get CeeDee Lamb going. We have not been able to say, these boys cooking today. These boys cooking. Another issue. It was I'm going to say this is Brian Schottenheimer's decision to put Kevontae Turpin at the third wide receiver spot. It has been, I won't call it a disaster. It's been underwhelming. The Kevontae Turpin experiment has been underwhelming. Lack of utilization of speed. And then we've decided that we're just going to run one way. All we're going to do is run between the tackles. And if we don't run between the tackles, our running game is done. And we cannot put the onus, or we can't put the responsibility back into the lap of a defense that we know is not good. Our defense is not good. We got a defensive coordinator over there who wants to be conservative and still getting the socks blew off of him. No. The Cowboys, I believe, they need a top-notch play caller. They need a top-notch play caller. Maybe Brian Schottenheimer will be better next year, because I don't think Jerry Jones is going to stop him from being the play caller. We'll see next year. All right. Overreaction number 3. I'll go through these again as we go through the show. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop after number 3. I want to go back and read some of your comments. Overreaction number 3. Y'all ready for this one? George Pickens has checked out on the Cowboys. George Pickens has checked out on the Cowboys. And George Pickens hasn't checked out on the Cowboys because he has a bad attitude. George Pickens has checked out on the Cowboys because the Cowboys have checked out on George Pickens. This team cannot manage talent well. At least the coach can't. He cannot manage talent well. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. This team seems to, as we saw the stretch that George Pickens was having, this team or this coaching staff seemed like it still wanted to establish CeeDee Lamb as the number 1 wide receiver, even though they say they have 2 number 1s. It's like they didn't want to let that part go. Rather than saying they're truly number 1s, and we're going to go, if there's a game and there's a hot hand, we're going to go with the hot hand. And we're also going to make sure that if this player is performing at this certain level, that we're going to continue to feed that player. And we're going to make sure that we can get both of them working at the same time. We have now allowed 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row we've allowed this. We've allowed George Pickens to be totally taken out of a game. That's not George Pickens. That's Brian Schottenheimer. The bad part is George Pickens has to get the abuse because the play calling isn't good enough. The play calling isn't good enough. Brian is not a good enough play caller to utilize these 2 wide receivers. And I'm not telling you I want these wide receivers gone. They both have got to stay here, and Brian has got to get better at using both of them. Because I am telling you, George Pickens is a number one receiver. CeeDee Lamb is a number one receiver. They are two different types of wide receivers. George Pickens is a boundary receiver, but he can also work inside of the hash marks. CeeDee Lamb actually works in the hash marks, in between the hash marks, but he can be a boundary receiver. CeeDee Lamb is more of a route runner, yards after the catch. George Pickens is more of a galloper, glider, kind of gets in where he fits in inside of coverages, kind of baits defensive backs, may make a move, catch a ball. He can either go, take it to the crib, or he's got jump ball ability. His high point on the ball is unmatched. It's Randy Moss-esque. It is Randy Moss-esque. We're not going to call him Randy Moss necessarily, but it's Randy Moss-esque. And the Cowboys, the thing that I did not think was going to happen, they have failed to take advantage of the skill set that George Pickens has. They have failed. They have failed at this. And George Pickens got so good at the slant that the Cowboys pigeonholed and relegated him to the slant in the comeback. The Cowboys need a top-notch play caller. Because if they don't, George Pickens is useless. What good is George Pickens if you're not going to use him? What good is he? And we're not going to make George Pickens into the problem, because George Pickens is not the problem. The problem is simple. They are not utilizing him right. And so then George Pickens has to get all of the blame for this. And that's why this is in Overreaction Monday. Because it's an overreaction for people who look at this on the outside rather than people who are looking at this on the inside. The Cowboys have got to find out how to utilize George Pickens better. Bottom line. All right, I'm at number 3. Let me go back. I want to read some of you guys' comments. See where you are on some of this. Let me go back. I'm going to go back. I'm not going to go back too far. Let's see here. All is well said, why are we talking about offense? We're talking about all of it. Maybe you missed it. The first part was the defense. The first overreaction was Matt Eberflus. We talked defense. The Cowboys need a top-notch play caller, because that is true, because that is the strength of the team. And then number 3, of course, we're talking about George Pickens. Don't worry, we got more to go. All right. Dominique Pittman said it's not hard to get Pickens and Lamb involved early. Quick screens and quick slants. So, Dominique Pittman, this is the frustration of Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott is coming to that same conclusion. These players are too talented for us to allow the Minnesota Vikings to do what they did. And let me tell you why. Do y'all realize Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers put up 37 points on the Minnesota Vikings. Last time I checked, when I watched the Chargers play the Eagles last week, they have nowhere near the firepower the Cowboys have. Pound for pound, they don't have the same firepower. They put up 37 points on them. 37 points. The Cowboys offense, when you look at the weapons the Cowboys have, the Cowboys should be able to manhandle. They should actually be able to manhandle even top 10 defenses. Because if they can't, then somebody's got to tell me something. But they should be able to manhandle, because at the end of the day, I am baffled at how do you stop CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on the same team. It is mind-boggling to me. It makes no sense. And let me go back real quick. Dominique, I just saw something that Dominique posted. Let me see here. I want to go back and look at Minnesota real quick. Let's see here. I'll pull it up. I'm going to go back and pull up. I want to see where Minnesota is actually ranked. Let me see here. Trying to get into the nuts and bolts of where they are ranked defensively. I'll find this for us when we get to some of the interviews. I'll come back to that. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys should be able to match up against any defense in the league, but they can't. They can't do it because they can't seem to utilize all of the players. Now, understand this. I want to keep reading some of your comments, but understand this is Overreaction Monday, and that's why I want to read what you're saying here. Poobie D said it was more Flournoy last night. Yeah, it was more So, Poobie D, let me show you the logic. And I'm sure you already understand what I'm about to explain, Poobie D. So let me explain this logic. You said it was more Flournoy last night. So let me explain to us about the problem with it being more Flournoy last night. If I'm a defense coming up against the Dallas Cowboys, you got George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Ryan Flournoy at the wide receiver position. Am I happy or sad if Ryan Flournoy is the leading receiver of those three? I'm willing to bet you that if your three wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Ryan Flournoy, if Ryan Flournoy is your leading receiver over those two receivers, I'll take those odds every single game because I'm probably going to beat you 8 times out of 10. I'm going to beat you 8 times out of 10. If Ryan Flournoy is the leading receiver, man, you cooked. That's not a knock on Ryan Flournoy. But Ryan Flournoy, as much as I love Ryan Flournoy, he is not CeeDee Lamb and he is not George Pickens. Those are game-breaking wide receivers. Those are big-time wide receivers. Those are $30 million a year wide receivers. Those are the kinds of wide receivers that are supposed to give the opposing team nightmares. But if you're going to tell me, if we're going to play the Dallas Cowboys and Ryan Flournoy is the leading receiver, I'm glad because I'm going to beat you probably 8 times out of 10. And I'm probably being generous when I say that. Kippy says the Turpin experiment was a cluster. It was. Lynn, you're right. Dak was running for his life. Don't you worry. Lynn, I'm getting to where you are. Lock and D, Shotty didn't feed Pickens the whole game. This is why Dak Prescott was frustrated. Brandon said, do y'all think the offense is putting more pressure on themselves because they know the defense can't stop a turtle? No. I just see very predictable play calling. That's what I see. The Big Rumbowski said, Shotty struggles play calling on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th downs, but on 5th down, he's the league's best. Hey, Big Rumbowski, I can tell you this. It's really funny what you said, but there's some truth to it too. Brian struggles with situational football. He struggles with it all, and it really all depends on the situation. On our side of the 50, it seems like Brian can kind of move it towards the 50. When Brian crosses over the 50, Brian seems like he struggles with the play calling. The closer he gets to the 20, the more he struggles with the situation. I think his biggest issue is he's not a situational play caller. And I think that's what's really hampering him. He's not a good situational offense coordinator. David Duvall said we need to find another North Turner. We do. We do. I mean, we need a serious play caller. I want Brian Schottenheimer to be the head coach. I think he's great at this stuff as far as the head coach, the communication, the managing of the team, off the field, on the field. I mean, what he does between the ownership and the players. I'm with Brian on 98% of everything he does as a head coach. I think the play calling portion is taking away from his overall global eye. I think he would even be a better game manager if he could just sit back even further and manage the play calling. Manage that piece. And then he can go over there if he needs to talk to the quarterback, if he needs to go over there and talk to the defense, if he needs to have a powwow with Matt Eberflus. I think Brian could do better as a head coach if he wasn't being so concerned with the plays. I really think the Cowboys ought to consider going out and getting them a top-notch play caller. I really do. I wonder if Mike McCarthy looks back on it and says, man, had I kept Kellen Moore. Sometimes guys want to be in control of everything. But that's what I loved about Jimmy. Jimmy was an egomaniac, but Jimmy didn't want to call plays. No, Jimmy got people to do that. I'm sure Jimmy could have called plays on either side of the ball. But no, you get people, you surround yourself with people who are better than you. That's what your job is as a head coach. You want people who are better than you. You don't want a defensive coordinator that you're better than. You don't want an offensive coordinator that you're better than. No, they got you to be the coach. You want the top-notch guys at positions to do everything because that's how you win championships. I believe Brian is an amazing, I believe he's an amazing head coach. I really do. I think he's an amazing head coach. But he's an average play caller. And that's the problem. He's an average play caller. Tatiana said, yep, I noticed Pickens checked out. I was so excited to see him play last night, just not to see anything. And Tatiana, and the reason why I do call this an overreaction, if I do say so myself, I don't think he's checked out on the Cowboys. The Cowboys have checked out on him. And I don't mean they've checked out on him as in they're done with him, because they love George Pickens. But what I mean by they've checked out on him is that they've checked out on him in the way they're utilizing him. You don't get George Pickens to say, yeah, man, we want you to be a bona fide decoy for the remainder of the season or a decoy for these next 3 games and just let CeeDee Lamb eat and let Ryan Flanoy eat. I'm sorry. I don't want George Pickens for that. I understand that when teams play us, they're going to try to take away George Pickens. But if I'm the GM, my discussion with Brian Schottenheimer or any other offensive coordinator, hey, it's not rocket science that every team is going to come in and try to stop George Pickens. Tell me your plan for them not to stop George Pickens. That's what I want to know. Everybody knows they're going to try to stop George Pickens. Duh. Everybody knows it. My question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because you cannot allow them to take away George Pickens. You cannot do it. And you definitely don't want a player like George Pickens to just say, okay, because, you can check out in different ways. If you mess around and keep on doing dumb stuff, George will just say, okay, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to block, check. I'm going to go out here, I'm going to run my routes hard, check. But at the same time, since they are just relegating me to the slant. Indeed, if they stop that slant, they're not going back to me on it. Then they want me to do the comeback. And then if they don't get the comeback, then they're not going to use me for anything else. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to be out here going through the motions because I'm not expecting the ball. This is not a George Pickens issue. This is what happens with all of these wide receivers. When you got top-notch wide receivers, if you don't want a wide receiver who's mad when he's not getting the ball, then you're the wrong coach. You're the wrong coach. I want George Pickens mad when he doesn't get the ball. I want him mad. I want CeeDee Lamb mad when he doesn't get the ball. I don't want them out there throwing tantrums, but I want them mad when they don't get the ball because it then becomes my job. How do I get them the ball? That is not on George Pickens. That is on Brian Schottenheimer. Period in the story. That's on Brian Schottenheimer. Exactly, Poobie D. They keep running the same routes with Pickens. That's on Brian Schottenheimer. Meanwhile, George Pickens has to get the abuse for it. And then I cannot stand this. You don't have to try and establish the pecking order. You just need to go out there and call a game to where nobody can take away these two wide receivers. And you make it your business that both of them eat. This is the part where I'm frustrated. Show me the motion. Wait a minute. So they're gonna run zero. They're gonna run zero. Okay, I got something for them. They're gonna try to run zero coverage. I got something for them. Okay, let's make sure we're gonna run some motion. Wait. What are they doing? Let's run some trips. Because the middle of the field is wide open on zero coverage. Okay, I got news for you. We're gonna run trips to the right. We're gonna have Pickens on the outside, CeeDee Lamb in the middle, and we're going to put Kevontae Turpin right there at the end. We're going to put him at the inside third receiver. And when they run that zero coverage, we're going to get Kevontae Turpin matched up on a safety, cutting it across there, and it's going to be a foot race. And if that cornerback comes, I'm going deep all the way to George Pickens. I'm going to bring you out of that zero coverage. If George Pickens, if that safety gets over there good enough, and if Kevontae Turpin is covered, I'm going to hit you with CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to bring you out of that zero coverage. That is Brian Schottenheimer's job. But Brian Schottenheimer tries to go to what he calls the old faithful, running the ball. I'm sorry, bro. It's 2025. These offensive coordinators are too smart. They are too smart. They'll give you a 10-yard run here and there because they know that eventually they're going to stop you. No, you have got to go in knowing what they're going to do. And if you failed against the Detroit Lions, get ready because that's what the next team is going to try and do. You got to bring a team out of those zero coverages. You have got to make them pay. And the way you make them pay is you make sure you put your fastest receiver right there inside and you get those quick slants. You get those slants. You be willing if that cornerback runs up. You be willing to quickly throw that ball out there. Or you could say, hey, guys, I'm just going to tell you what we're doing. I'm not throwing it to a player. I'm throwing it to a spot. This blitz is going to come hard and fast. I'm going to throw it to a spot. I need you to get there. I need you to get there. And we're not seeing this. 72 Savale, he said, I don't think Pickens will be here. I think Jerry's going to make sure he's here. I think Jerry's going to make sure Pickens is here. And Jerry is going to have a talk with Brian Schottenheimer. And if he hasn't, he needs to. Because I'm just telling y'all right now, I love Brian Schottenheimer as the head coach. I love him as the head coach. I don't think that's his strength. I think people is his strength, not play calling. People are his strength, not play calling. They need to get a bona fide play caller. They need to get a bona fide play caller. Somebody, hey, let me tell you something. Hey, Mile High City, Kellen Moore would be having a field day right now. Kellen Moore would be having a field day right now. Point blank in the story. He would be having a field day right now. Dominique said, I've been saying this the whole time. Pickens is going to go somewhere else. Don't think so. No. Jerry wants to pay George Pickens. I'm just telling y'all now, if y'all think that Ryan Flanoy, and I have been one of the biggest Ryan Flanoy advocates, man, if y'all think Ryan Flanoy and CeeDee Lamb is enough, I'm just going to prepare y'all now for nothing but heartbreak. I'm going to prepare y'all for heartbreak. Flanoy is a great wide receiver. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, you don't get those type of receivers every day. You don't get CeeDee Lamb every day. You don't get George Pickens every day. And I'm going to tell you something. It's once in a decade. It may even be once every 2 decades that you get George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb together. If the Cowboys don't keep them together, it's over. I'm telling y'all now, it's over. And the only way it won't be over is that the Cowboys will have to go out and literally get the top 3 defense in the NFL. And they'll have to do it next season. Because I'm telling you now, Ryan Flanoy, I love him. He ain't CeeDee Lamb. And he ain't George Pickens. And I'm going to tell y'all something that I don't know if y'all agree or disagree, but he ain't even close to those 2 wide receivers. He's not even close. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are aliens. He is not close. Flanoy, maybe in another couple of years, I could see him being a top wide receiver in this league. But we knew the moment we saw CeeDee Lamb. Now, we knew CeeDee Lamb was a top receiver in this league. The moment we saw George Pickens, people have always been saying how great Pickens is. Now, if the Cowboys let go of George Pickens, I'm telling you, they set this franchise back 3 years. Big Rumbowski said Pickens checking out is the inevitable outcome when the old man trades away a star player the week before the season begins because he made him upset. You know, I don't know, Big Rumbowski. I think these are 2 separate things. I think people got over this Michael Parsons thing. I really think they got over this Michael Parsons thing. This thing with George Pickens is it's a separate animal. Poobie D, you're right. It's easy to take him away because the Cowboys allow it. The Cowboys are allowing it. And they should not be allowing this. And that's why I say I'm struggling with Brian. I think Brian is a great play caller. I mean, a great head coach. I just don't think I think he's an average play caller. Proud Coast, I hope you get the sarcasm in what I'm saying. Pickens hasn't checked out. I don't think people realize how good Minnesota's defense is. Dak was disrupted all night. They were better than the team last night. Proud, I'll give you that. But what I will not give you, and what I will not give Brian Schottenheimer, because Dak Prescott wasn't giving him any leeway on this either. It is not good enough to allow the Minnesota Vikings or anybody else to take away CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens at the same time. That is absolute, that is insanity. You're not good enough as a play caller if you let any team, short of them having, now, if you told me that the Minnesota Vikings had Patrick Surtain and prime Deion Sanders or prime Darrelle Revis, if you told me they had those caliber of cornerbacks, I would be absolutely agreeing with you. They don't have those caliber of cornerbacks. Man, it is so easy to beat this cover 0. If it wasn't easy to beat what the Minnesota Vikings did defensively, they would not be 6-8. And somebody says, well, J.J. McCarthy's been the problem. Caleb Williams has been the problem for the Bears, and they still got 10 wins. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. The Chicago Bears, the Caleb Williams has not been good, and they are still 10 wins deep. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. And so, again, those are my first three. The Cowboys should fire Matt Eberflus. The Cowboys need a top-notch play caller. George Pickens is checked out on the Cowboys.
Yes! Here we go!
All right, let me give you number 4. Number 4 is going to be very controversial. I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again. The Cowboys need to see these last 3 games of the season. The Cowboys need to see what Jaden Blue is. We need to see what he is. If I'm Jerry Jones, Brian Schottenheimer lost all. I'm not saying he lost trust with me, but he has lost credibility to the point of, I'm not going to just let you tell me that Jaden Blue isn't good. I need to see him on the field. No, Brian, I need to see Jaden Blue on the field. And I don't want you just throwing him out there so you can say, like you did with Dalvin Cook a couple of years ago, and say, well, here he is. He's no good. We handed it to him 5 times. He's no good. I'm not buying that. If I am Jerry Jones, I am telling Brian Schottenheimer, I want to see what Jaden Blue is, and I want to see what he is, and I want to see what he looks like when you truly work him into a game plan and don't try to make him be Javonte Smith. I want to see what he looks like when you use him the way he was used at Texas. Brian Schottenheimer, if you don't know how he was used, I need you to go look at his last year at Texas, and I want you to see him lining up at wide receiver spots. I want you to see him running the real routes. I want you to see how they used him with his speed. How did they utilize his speed with screens and all of those different things? Because Cowboy fans, if y'all are not paying attention, if last night didn't tell you we have a lack of speed offensively, that is one of the things that got us. We have no speed from the running back position. Malik Davis, as much as I like Malik Davis, we got to stop fooling ourselves. I'm glad he got his opportunity. But Malik Davis is not a top 10 running back, and we got to stop fooling ourselves. And I'm not telling you Jaden Blue is a top 10 running back. But what I am telling you is you drafted Jaden Blue. You drafted him for a reason. Let's get a full snapshot of Jaden Blue and stop looking for reasons not to use him when we have watched other players on this team this season and they have given us reasons to bench them and we have refused to bench them. Why? Why have we refused to bench him? Why is Kenneth Murray Jr. still on the field? Why did it take us this long for Kevontae Turpin not to be the starting 3rd wide receiver, even though he still got a lot of snaps as the 3rd wide receiver? Why is Jake Ferguson still the starting tight end? I'm not listening to anybody talking about Jaden Blue is a bust when we got players. Oso Digizua has disappeared for 2 straight games. You think we're putting him on the bench? I know we're not putting him on the bench. I want to see if I am Jerry Jones. I'm not listening to you tell me that Jaden Blue is a bust. I'm not listening to you tell me he's not practicing well. It seems like some of the same stuff that they're using against Trayvon Diggs. How can it not be true for Trayvon Diggs, but it is true for Jaden Blue? I'm not listening. If I'm Jerry Jones, bro, you got beat against the Detroit Lions, and then you came back and got mollywopped at home against the Minnesota Vikings. You're going to show me what Jaden Blue looked like. You're going to show me. You're going to show me what he looks like. And I don't want to hear no Sir Mix-a-Lot, you like big backs. I don't want to hear you like big backs. I want you to show me that you said you were going to be multiple. Stevie Wonder can see the Cowboys have no outside run game. The Cowboys have no outside run game. And if you tell me that you're going to be totally dependent on an inside run game, I'm going to show you the same result over and over and over. I'm going to show you the same result over and over and over. No. You're going to show me what Jaden Blue looks like.
Yes! Here we go!
Number 5. Number 5. And this one is going to be controversial also. The Cowboys should not play Trayvon Diggs the remainder of the season. The Cowboys should not play Trayvon Diggs the remainder of the season. Trayvon Diggs did something so egregious last night. He did something so egregious last night. I cannot go alone. And I'm telling you, I've been really feeling bad for Trayvon Diggs. I've really been feeling bad for Trayvon Diggs. Really feeling bad for him. And sometimes I have a hard time feeling bad for millionaires because they're still going home to millions of dollars, and I'm not nowhere close to that. Trayvon Diggs did something last night that was so egregious to me. Can y'all explain to me why would the Dallas Cowboys media, why would they be asking about Trayvon Diggs after immediately? Now, if this was maybe Monday or Tuesday, but immediately after that Minnesota Vikings loss, you're asking about Trayvon Diggs. Now, I'm pretty sure they're asking about Trayvon Diggs out of sarcasm. Because they're probably saying, well, with the way that secondary performed, you don't think Diggs could have helped you. The Trayvon Diggs thing, to me, it is to the point, it's a moot point. Trayvon Diggs was not playing well when he was playing this year. He had 27 snaps against the Philadelphia Eagles. He looked pretty good in that game. But after that game, man, Diggs didn't look right. And I don't think Diggs is right. Diggs is saying he's right. And here becomes the problem with the whole Diggs conversation. We don't know if Diggs is good or not. Diggs is saying he's ready. Jerry Jones, Brian Schottenheimer came out and said something I hadn't heard. They said that he actually did not look good. No. They said he did not look good in practice. Mike Fisher is reporting that sources are saying Trayvon Diggs did not look good at practice. This is what they're saying. He didn't look good. Trayvon Diggs is saying, I'm ready to play. I went through the whole game plan. The plan was for me to play. And quickly, they made the decision that I was not playing. I don't think you're going to get a reliable source when it comes to Trayvon Diggs. I just don't think you're going to get it. The only way you're truly going to find out is the Cowboys say Trayvon Diggs plays and let's see what he does. But I don't believe they're going to do that. They might. I don't believe they're going to do it. I told y'all before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I don't think this is a performance issue with Diggs. I don't think this is a performance issue with Diggs. And last night is what really would have clicked in my head if I'm on this Cowboys staff. We're not going to play Diggs. Diggs done for the season. Let's let that story go. And we don't want to talk about it no more. I would do this if I were the Cowboys. Because Trayvon Diggs last night after that Cowboys loss. Maybe I'm crazy. But what I am not going to do after my team just got beat by the Minnesota Vikings, at home, mind you, and I know our playoff chances went down the drain, and I know how those players are hurting, I am not going to field questions about me playing. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to field questions about me playing. If y'all want to have this conversation on a Tuesday, maybe we can have that conversation on a Tuesday. But as it stands right now in this locker room, with everything that these guys, man, how this team is feeling right now, I have no comment on me not playing tonight. Because I'm not going to stand in front of the Dallas media and plead my case of I should have been playing, as if I'm almost saying, in a sense, you see what happened with me not out there? I could have helped the team tonight. Oh, I told you so. I'm not going to sit out there and even give the appearance of evil. If I am truly a teammate, I'm not talking about the fact that I didn't play. I am sad for my teammates. I am sad for us as a team. I'm not talking about this tonight. No comments. I didn't play, so I don't have, if you're not asking me anything about the game, I have no comments for you. I just want to be here for my teammates tonight. That's all I want to do. I'm done with it. I could not believe that Trayvon Diggs was actually giving that kind of interview after that game. It's bad enough that our media does these things because they are immediately trying to stir up the controversy. I mean, they can't even wait. Man, I'm telling you, these guys are better than me. There is no way I'm Dak Prescott at the podium. I wish you would ask me a question about Trayvon Diggs. Man, let me tell you something. I'd have went off in the most Christian way possible. I'd have went off on that media in the most Christian way possible. I would tell all of them there will not be another question about Trayvon Diggs. Do we all understand this? There will not be another question about Trayvon Diggs. We just lost to the Minnesota Vikings, and Trayvon Diggs did not play. I don't make those decisions. Do not ask me another question about Trayvon Diggs. And shame on y'all for doing it. Boy, I'm telling you, I am telling you I would have went off on the Dallas media. It is one of the most insane things they did last night. And I'm shocked nobody is talking about it. It is insanity to do that. But what's even more egregious is that Trayvon Diggs chose directly after a game to plead his case. And to once again, y'all gotta help me. So you're saying that you want to play for the Cowboys for the rest of the season. You want to play. You want to help your team win. While at the same time criticizing the very people who are going to make the decision on your playing. I'm sorry. I'm starting to think these are mind games. I'm sorry. I'm starting to think these are mind games. You cannot say you're hungry, but you're biting the person that's feeding you. You ever heard the term, don't bite the hand that feeds you? How do you say and talk about the hand that feeds you? Bro, we can't help you. The media can't help you. The only one that's going to make the determination that you're playing is obviously the head coach and Matt Eberflus. And for you to be pointing fingers in your interview, if I'm the Cowboys, that decision for me is made today. Trayvon Diggs will play no longer for this team. That's where I am. It is crazy to me that these guys started talking about Trayvon Diggs last night after that loss. It is crazy to me. Bro, you want to talk about that on a Tuesday? Hey, do you think that y'all could have done better had Trayvon Diggs? On a Tuesday, I can feel that question. Directly after a game, shame on you. Shame on you, because I know exactly what you're doing. And that is the exact kind of behavior and to even feel those questions the way Trayvon Diggs did. It is those things, I believe, are the reason why the Cowboys don't want him on the field. Very selfish. Very selfish, because I'm telling you, I wouldn't have fielded those questions. They were embarrassing to even ask. I wouldn't have fielded those questions. It's almost borderline classless. Do you not understand what just happened? No, but it's all about you. And you got to still plead your case. Oh, I should have played. I don't know why they're not playing me. I'm ready to go. I'm the healthiest I've been in 2 years. He didn't say that, but I'm healthy. I'm ready to go. I mean, I don't know why they made the decision. You giving this interview is the reason why they made the decision. Because I would be inclined to play you. Had they tried to interview you and you said, no comments. I have no comments about me not playing tonight. This is all about my team. This is a very trying time right now. I don't want to talk about myself. I don't want to talk about why I didn't play. This is about my team. I will field no questions tonight about me not playing. Done. Diggs shouldn't play another down for this team. Shouldn't play another down. And if we're out of the playoffs, what good does Diggs do you in the first place? Now you might as well let the young guys play, see what they are. Let Josh Butler get back in this thing, and so you can determine whether or not you even want to deal with him, if you're going to keep him next year. But we already know Trayvon Diggs is out the door, and the Cowboys just need to alleviate this entire issue. But it's going to be a storm, because the moment they say that he is not coming off of IR, they have all the way until Sunday, and if they don't bring him off, he's already done for the season, just like Brandon Ayuk. All right, let me give you the next one. I'm going to come back and read some of your comments after this one. Overreaction number 6.
Yes! Here we go!
The Cowboys' offensive tackles are terrible. The Cowboys' offensive tackles are terrible. I said this a few weeks ago, and I had been saying it week after week. Either the entire NFL scouted Nate Thomas wrong, and they all passed over him, including the Cowboys. They all passed over him, 6 rounds? And then the Dallas Cowboys say in the 7th round, I didn't think we'd make it to the 7th round with everybody passing over Nate Thomas. Everybody passed over Nate Thomas. Let's get him, because he's the steal of the draft. And the reality is he's a top 10 left tackle, or a top 10 right tackle, and a top 20 left tackle. If Nate Thomas can fill in for your left tackle, and you say that the drop-off is minimum, if he can fill in for your right tackle and challenge the right tackle that you're paying millions of dollars to, either everybody mis-scouted him and missed something, or you have improved him so good over the couple of years that you had him that he's incredible now. Nate Thomas cannot fill in for any top 10 tackle in this league. If you're serious about winning a Super Bowl, show me who your tackles are. I'm including offense. If you are serious about winning a Super Bowl, show me who your tackles are. Okay, who are the Dallas Cowboys tackles? Oso Digizua. I need to see a little bit more. Kenny Clark. Pretty good. Pretty good. Quentin Williams, you're serious. You're serious about the Super Bowl. You got Quentin Williams, Oso Digizua, and Kenny Clark. Now I believe you're serious. I believe you're serious. Hold on. We're not done with your tackles. What about your offensive tackles? Terrence Steele. Are we talking Super Bowl or playoffs? And what round of the playoffs are we talking about? Are we talking about NFC Championship? Terrence Steele isn't your man. Super Bowl. Heck to the no. Tyler Guyton. Yep, I'm going to make some people mad right now. Tyler Guyton. Super Bowl? No. No. No, no, and no. We are still talking about Tyler Guyton improving. I got news for us. Hold on a second. Maybe this is breaking news to some of you. Maybe this is breaking news to some of y'all. Guyton can't stay on the field. I know we're not talking about it. Guyton can't stay on the field, y'all. Guyton can't stay on the field long enough for us to even get him to where he needs to be. You know why Minnesota did what they did to us last night? I got news for y'all. Did the Minnesota Vikings come out with a great game plan? Yes, they did. But I got even better news for you. Or I should not say better. I got worse news for you. It wasn't because their game plan was so great. It was because their game plan with the tackles that we have was superior. We already can't block nobody. We already can't block good teams. We can't. We can block average teams with Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton. We can't block great teams with Tyler Guyton. We can't block great teams with Guyton and Steele. We can't. And we're going to have to admit it. We're going to have to admit it. Maybe I'm overreacting. I'm going to come to the comments. Y'all tell me. But in my overreaction, I don't think the game is any better with Tyler Guyton. I don't think it's any better with Guyton. The triangle of BB, Smith, and Booker, it's Pro Bowl level. The tackles, man, we're going to have to start being real. We are going to have to start being real. Our tackles, just the mere fact that a team would be talking about Nate Thomas filling in for your left tackle like there will be no drop-off. Shoo, tell me anything you want to. You're either lying to yourself, lying to us, or you're seeing something that we're not seeing. Sky be faded. He said, why can't we give GP the same route tree as CD? We would easily be killing a lot of team secondary. Standing ovation. Did anybody not notice what he did when in the absence of CD Lamb? When he was running the CD Lamb route tree? And then when CD Lamb came back, they still had him running the CD Lamb route tree. But then as CD Lamb continues to work his way back into the offense, the Cowboys relegated George Pickens to a slant play in the comeback route. Some of the same bull junk that was frustrating him with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We wouldn't have played any better with Tyler Guyton. That's where I am on the tackles. Maybe it's an overreaction. But Minnesota's game plan looked better because our tackles are not good. Detroit's game plan looked better because our tackles were not good. They're not good. And they're not consistent. And even Guyton, you can tell me all day long, I hear people say he played better. I'm sorry, there are just conversations that you do not need to be having about your left tackle. You don't need to be having that conversation. That is not a conversation you should be having about a left tackle, and you're talking about going to the playoffs and winning Super Bowls. I don't want to hear he's getting better. I want to hear he nasty. That's what I want to hear about my left tackle. He nasty. He knocking guys out the whole picture frame. That's what I want to hear about my left tackle. I don't want to hear people saying, yeah, he's pretty good. You don't have those conversations about your left tackle if you're talking about Super Bowls. You don't do it. Let me read some comments. I know some of these things might be setting some of y'all on fire. I respect your opinion. Gregory said, GR offensive line is not fast enough to get outside and block for anyone. I agree. Kevin Edwards said, I don't feel bad for Diggs at all. Kevin Edwards. And the reason why I felt bad for Diggs is the way the Cowboys are airing him out. The Cowboys can make decisions on Diggs. Two things can be true. And this is why I'm not either or on a lot of things. Two things can be true. They don't have to air Diggs out. I don't think the Cowboys have to air Diggs out sometimes as much as they do. Same thing with Jaden Blue. I don't think they need to air Jaden Blue out. I don't think you need to give the impression that Jaden Blue is just, because a lot of people have come to the conclusion on a very small snapshot of Jaden Blue. Yeah, he trash. He a bust. I don't think you need to air him out like that, especially when you have other players who are getting paid millions of dollars and they're not playing up to what you paying them for. Man, the Jake Ferguson signing, shoot, I'm just telling y'all right now, Ferg would have played on that contract. I'd have put the Dalton Schultz on him. Nah, bro. Nah. You playing on that contract. And I don't care how little money you taking. We are not extending you. You're going to show us a little bit more. Dude coming off injury, Cowboys still extended him. He still ain't playing up the par. Out there fumbling the ball, missing blocks, dropping passes, no yards after the catch. If you're being consistent, okay, that is who you are. They're not airing out some of these players. And this is why I say I don't think the Cowboys need to air out Diggs in the ways that they're doing it. Man, just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to just keep it a bean. Nah, man, we've decided that, more than likely we're not going to play Diggs for the rest of the season. Why? That's between us and Diggs. Don't nobody want to tell us what happened in his house when he had the concussion and went on injury reserve? Man, spare all the drama. Nah, bro, we moving on from Trayvon Diggs. He'll be a post-June 1st cut after the season. End of story. You can write all you want to about it, but we're not answering any more questions about it going forward. End of story. End of story. And again, I don't like the way they're airing out Trayvon Diggs per se. But I also don't like the way Trayvon Diggs is doing some of the things that he's doing. Because Trayvon Diggs, to me, is like he's doing some Michael Parsons type of things. He wants to always remain outspoken when it is very clear that this team don't want that in the locker room anymore. They don't want that stuff no more. They don't. And that's why, for me, I'm struggling with you're saying that you want to play, but you also have to know that they don't want that stuff, and you're still doing it. Man, let me tell you something. If I was this staff and I watched that Trayvon Diggs interview after the game, shoot, I'm done. That's where I am. Let me read some more comments, then we're going to do the other 5. All right, Rick Grombowski said, this drama doesn't just fall on Diggs, but Jerry and Steven and Shotty share equal share of the blame for this drama. Grombowski, did I not just say that? 2 things can be true. That's the part that's had me feeling bad for Trayvon Diggs, because I don't think the Cowboys have to be airing him out like that. I don't need you to be saying, oh, yeah, hey, man, I like Trayvon Diggs, but, You ever heard somebody say, hey, man, I don't want to upset you, but, well, that means you're about to upset me. And you know you are. That's why you said you don't mean to, but you know that it's going to upset me. Make your decision on Trayvon Diggs and live with it. Live with your decision. Because now you've gotten it to a point, the reality is, what would really be the point in paying Trayvon Diggs? And I don't know if it was you who said it, Ron Bowski, or somebody else, but I'm going to stay with the same premise. 3 things can be true. I don't like the way the Cowboys are airing out Diggs, but I also don't like the way that Trayvon Diggs is out here in the court of public opinion, trying to plead his case to people who don't make decisions. I don't like him continuing that drama. But I also say this about Diggs. Bro, I don't understand. I would not want to play another down for the Cowboys. My focus, if I'm Trayvon Diggs, I'm going to get myself 100% right. I'm going to continue to do my rehab because my focus is post June 1st. I don't want to put any bad tape out there right now. I don't want to put bad tape out there. Diggs shouldn't want to put bad tape out there. Diggs shouldn't want to go out there. I mean, I know Diggs thinks he can do this and that, and maybe he's thinking he's going to put some good tape out there. But no, bro. No, don't put anything out there. The best thing that Trayvon Diggs can put out there post June 1st for any team that's looking at Trayvon Diggs is I'm 100% healthy. Bring me in for a physical. Bring me in for a physical. Bring me in for a workout. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that I am ready to go. I'm ready to go. But why even take the chance of putting bad tape out there? And another reason, let me read a couple of your comments. Lolly, what did Diggs do? I didn't see it. Oh, Lolly, you didn't see it, huh? They interviewed Trayvon Diggs after the game. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it, Lolly. They interviewed him after the game as if he played the game. And asking him, like, why he didn't play. Man, that ain't something you do after a loss. James, let me add more to what I'm saying. Diggs doesn't agree with the scheme. I can guarantee you that. James, that's another reason why Diggs shouldn't want to play. Schottenheimer has already shown. I mean, not Schottenheimer, Matty Eberflus has already shown. He's not changing the scheme for Diggs. He's not changing the scheme for Revel Jr. He's not changing the scheme for DeRon Bland. He's not changing the scheme for any defensive back on this team. He's not changing the scheme for Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. Why would Trayvon Diggs want to go out there and continue to get exposed in a system that he don't fit in? Man, I'm sitting my butt down somewhere. I'm sitting my butt down somewhere. Why do I want to go out there and then when I look bad, then when you start talking to me, here I go again. Well, I don't like the scheme. We should be running more man. I've already said this earlier. Matt Eberflus is stubborn. He's stubborn. He's got Savone Revel Jr., who now, listening to Kurt Herbstreit and others, they're saying that he was primarily a man-to-man corner. And the Cowboys scouted him, drafted him, and now they're trying to make him acclimate to zone. Why would Diggs want to play in that? Why would Diggs want to play in that? And then after the game, you're going to get more interviews. Hey, you know what? You didn't look too good out there tonight. Or what happened on that play? Stop it. Cowboys need to be done with this drama of Trayvon Diggs. It is time to move on. If I were the Cowboys, I'd go ahead and take it all now. Just take it all now. So when post-June 1st comes, it's not even a story. Even though I jumped on this even before the season started, and I said Trayvon Diggs will not be with the Cowboys in 2026. And that story is going to come true. Thomas, what's going on? He said, still is a bum and got to go already. He said the dudes are a joke and always getting beat and letting teams get to Dak, and all the time Dak is running. Yeah. Thomas, I'm telling you, if you're telling me a 7th-round tackle can compete with your starting right tackle and your starting left tackle, either that tackle you got, everybody like scouted him wrong, and he's the Tom Brady of tackles, or the reality is you're fooling yourself and telling yourself what you want to hear. Because the reality is your tackles aren't good. And Poobie D, again, you proving my point. The Diggs issue isn't about him playing, and I've been saying this. It's not a performance issue. I don't think it's a performance issue. I think it's a what Diggs did last night issue. I think it's a what Diggs did the previous week issue. I think it's that issue. I think that's why they don't want Diggs back on the field. Yeah, Amber Soprano, yeah, it's mental. I think that's what it is. Lolly, okay. When Diggs was crushing, nobody was CO. Okay, give me what that means. Gregory said Thomas exactly still should have been gone 2 years ago. Never should have paid him. We paid him, shouldn't have paid him. Paid Ferguson? I think we paid him too soon. Also, Diggy Zua? Not really mad we paid Oso Diggy-Zua. Also, Diggy-Zua, while he is making a lot of money, well, he's not really making top defensive tackle money. Also, Diggy-Zua, as long as you keep Quinnen Williams with him, also be fine. But, man, I'm telling you, last night I saw a stat today that was mind-blowing. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't get any pressures last night. I mean, also, Diggy-Zua just basically disappeared. Israel, what's going on? He said, I don't think GP is checked out. I think he was disappointed in the fact he wasn't a part of the game plan and allowed to make amends for last week. Yeah, that was my point, Israel. That was my point. Yeah. Kippy said Diggs has 20 million reasons for not playing. Kippy, I don't understand why he would want to play anymore. There is too much mudslinging between the front office, the coaches, and this player. And if I know that there's drama between us, why would I let you on the field? Why would I let you on the field? Cowboys need to be done with the whole Diggs situation. All right, I'm going to read some more, and then we're going to get to number 6. Let me see. KH said Diggs is a part of Jerry's karma that Jerry makes us go through with him. Yeah. Poobie D said, Kevin, I respect your opinion. He said, Carson keeps getting torched. It's nothing wrong with his knees. Poobie D. Can we just tell the truth? Kalen Carson he is not a starting cornerback in this league. This is what I want the Cowboys to fix going into next season. Stop getting players and trying to make them into first and second round, third round caliber picks. They're not that. Just because they're Dallas Cowboys don't make them that. We got to stop getting players and just saying that they're this, that, and the other. No. Kalen Carson isn't a top cornerback in this league. He's not. It's just bottom line. It's just bottom line. He was drafted in 2024. He's a fifth-round draft pick. Guess what he is? He's a fifth-round draft pick. Bottom line. Bottom line. I like what I see from Savon Revel Jr. more than what I see from Kalen Carson. And he got a bad knee right now. We lull ourselves into falling in love with some of these players. If Jaden Blue was getting the opportunity that Kalen Carson is getting, and we saw what if we got a good snapshot of Jaden Blue, I'm pretty sure everybody's satisfied. But the Cowboys have got to get out of this. When we like you, we're going to give you all the opportunities. And when we don't like you, one mistake and you're gone. I just can't get down with that. Big Rumbowski said Diggs has said from his rookie days he's a man cover corner and not great with zone. So why not just dress him and put him on man coverage downs? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And this is why I say it's still, when you think about this, this is not just about him and his performance on the field. No, they don't trust him. They don't trust him as they don't trust him as a selfish player. They think he'll be out there playing on his own. And I want you to think about this, Big Rumbowski. Because I like the comment that you made. But I want you to think about this. I'll just be honest with you. This is me if I'm running a team. If I'm paying you $20 million, and at once upon a time we were talking about that you were a top 5 cornerback in this league, you don't get $20 million from me and you can't play zone and man. This is a fault of the Cowboys. I'm not paying a corner like that. And he can't play both. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Y'all might not remember this. While he had some good games under Zimmer, Diggs had some bad games under Zimmer. And I mean some bad games. He had some bad games under Zimmer too. Because you're the starting cornerback. Man, there are times I may want to play zone and man. I need your skills to be out there for zone and man. Because if I can't play you in zone, and if you're saying that the guy that I'm putting out there isn't as good as you, well, I still have a liability out there on the field. If I'm paying you that kind of money, nah, bro, I need you to be able to play both. And this is the difference between Diggs and Bland and Savon Revel Jr. I think Bland is a man corner. But you don't hear Bland out there complaining. Even before Bland got paid. You didn't hear Bland out there complaining about the game plan. Bland is out there just trying to run the game plan. Savon Revel Jr. And, he can't say anything. He's so new, but he ain't saying nothing either. He's out there just trying to learn to do what he do. And I'm pretty sure maybe he goes to bed at night and pray, I hope Matt Eberflus gets replaced. But at the end of the day, man, you got to play. That's what we're paying you for. We're not paying you to play what you want. We're paying you to play what we want. Because the thing that I have a problem with Diggs with also, I have a problem with Diggs from this perspective. The way he reacted when they traded Michael Parsons. Man, this is the NFL. It is a business. Players get traded all the time. Man, you can be best friends with a dude today and he's gone tomorrow. You can have one of the best players in the league and you think we'll never trade him. Guess what winds up happening? Man, he gets traded. It happens. We're going to see it happen in the offseason. There are going to be players that are going to be traded from teams and going to make our heads spin. You deal with it and you keep on doing what the heck you're supposed to be doing. Another point. Teams change coordinators. Dan Quinn, it was inevitable that Dan Quinn was going to be a head coach again because he was a Super Bowl coach. It was inevitable that Dan Quinn was going to get promoted again. I'm just telling you about me. I would never relegate myself to being a certain type of anything. I am going to be versatile because I understand that this league is ever changing. And I'm going to understand that while I got Dan Quinn today, I could have Mike Zimmer tomorrow, Matt Eberflus on Wednesday, and then on Friday, I don't know who the heck we're going to have. I got to be that versatile because that's how I have longevity in this league. I got to be the kind of player that shows that I'm flexible. I got to be that player. I got an issue with Diggs on that. And I still say it doesn't do you any good to be out there popping off to us, popping off in the media, when you know doggone well your team doesn't like this kind of stuff. Kippy said a Christian a Christian crash out, man. Yes, sir. Man, I'd have crashed out as Christian as I could, bro. I would. Angel Eyes, she said, G, I'm stopping by because I saw your light on. I won't stay too long. What's going on, Angel Eyes? What's going on? Were you able to get up this morning? Boy, I'm going to tell you right now. Woo! Man, I was struggling getting up this morning after that Cowboys after dark last night. Frederick Johnson, he said, I agree, G. The interview was insidious. Oh, man. Yeah, Angela, it was grimy. Yeah, that's on my number 5. I think that's at my number 5 spot. I'm actually going backwards and reading some of the comments on my top 10 reasons or my top 10 overreactions. All right. Let's go a little bit further. All right. Oh, Top Water Frog said, my mom's my only support. I'm just telling this thing with Diggs isn't about performance. It's about what he did yesterday and what he did in the week. And I still wonder if Diggs does want to play. Maybe Diggs is wanting us to think he wants to play, but then maybe Diggs doesn't really want to play. Because I can't see how he would want to play talking against the very people who make the decisions on you playing. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the way Jerry said it last night, don't seem like to me. Don't seem like to me he gonna play. Because they're basically saying that he didn't look good. That's what they're saying. All right, let me go ahead and get to number 7, 8, 9. Okay, let me get to number 7.
Yes! Here we go!
Let me flip back to the defense. Matt Eberflus is bad, but that's not my overreaction. We've already that was off the top. Let me give you number 7. Matt Eberflus isn't just bad, but the players on the defense are bad too. Do y'all realize the Cowboys don't have a lot of great players on defense? And some of y'all are saying this in the comments before I even got here. Some of y'all are saying this in the comments. But when you look at this Cowboys roster, let's look at the depth chart. When you look at this Cowboys roster, and I said this the other day, when you look at this Cowboys roster, man, it's kind of strange when you look at it. When you look at this Cowboys roster offensively, I mean, you're kind of looking at this Cowboys roster going, man, that's pretty good. Dak Prescott, top 5 quarterback. Javonte Williams, heck of a season. He's been a top 5 running back in this league all season. CeeDee Lamb, top 5, top 3 wide receiver. George Pickens, top 5, top 3 wide receiver. Ryan Flanoy is going to be in for a big payday. Ryan Flanoy could actually probably play. Ryan Flanoy is probably one of the top 5, top 10 third wide receivers in the game. I truly believe that. And Ryan Flanoy over the next couple of years is going to make his way to being a top 15, top 15, close to the top 10 type wide receiver. Kevontae Turpin, that's pretty good. He's got some speed. Jake Ferguson, I have no confidence, to be real with y'all. I'm just keeping it real. I have no confidence in this tight end room. Jake Ferguson has got to get back right. Something's not right. Guyton, questionable. Smith, Cooper, BB, exciting. Terrence Steele, questionable. Hunter Lipke, good to great. Cowboys got some talent offensively. But when I look defensively at the Cowboys, once I get past the defensive line, it all goes downhill. Ezraku, he's going to be one of them. Kenny Clark, great. Quentin Williams, elite. Oso Digizua, good to great, depending upon who lines up beside him. Dante Fowler, I think he's been a little bit of a disappointment. James Houston doesn't get enough snaps. Kenneth Murray Jr., if Matt Eberflus is making the decision for Kenneth Murray Jr. to play, he should be fired on that principle alone. He should be cleaning out his office right now if he's the one making the decision on Kenneth Murray Jr. Logan Wilson, I'd say good. Haven't seen enough of him to know what he is other than good. Demarion Overshown, he's going to be elite as he continues to get healthy. Deron Bland. Deron Bland to me is in between good and great. He's not in between good and bad. Deron Bland is a good corner. I'm still going to chalk it up to the system on Deron Bland. Savon Revel Jr., I think he's going to be one of them. Reddy Stewart doesn't need to be on the team next year. Kalen Carson, we're fooling ourselves. Triquez Bridges, I don't even understand it. Donovan Wilson, we need a new safety. Malik Hooker, we need a new safety. Marquise Bell, should not have extended him. Elijah Clark, we need another safety. Cowboys defense isn't that good, guys. It isn't that good. You get past the defensive line, it isn't good. Jadeveon Clowney, I think we need to keep him another year. Sam Williams. I mean, he's been pretty good on special teams. He's looked a little bit better, here down the stretch, but Sam isn't what we thought he was going to be. He's expendable. Solomon Thomas on a 2-year deal. I say the Cowboys keep Solomon Thomas. think he's been playing well. Perrion Winfrey won't let him on the field. I think the Cowboys need to keep him. Jay Toya, they're going to keep him. They drafted him. Maurice Leofau, totally underutilized. Shamar James, totally underutilized, but still needs work. But when you look at this Cowboys defense, guys, it's not good. I mean, it's the bottom line. Cowboys defense isn't good, guys. I don't know. Is that an overreaction by me? I'm going to read your comments here in a moment. Cowboys defense isn't good. I'm blaming Matt Eberflus for this, though. And this is why I will not let Matt Eberflus off the hook. Matt Eberflus, you are not in charge of the personnel. You are not the GM. I need you to show us what kind of defense coordinator you are. Because Dan Quinn had a similar defense. Dan Quinn didn't have the linebackers, and these aren't even good. Well, Dan Quinn didn't even have this group of linebackers. Dan Quinn, I believe Dan Quinn would be eaten with Leofau, Murray, especially Wilson. I believe Dan Quinn would be eating with Logan Wilson, Overshown, and Shamar James and Maurice Leofau sprinkled in there. I believe Dan Quinn would be eating with this. Our defensive ends, I believe Dan Quinn would be eating with James Houston. I believe he would be eating with Jadeveon Clowney and Donovan Ezeraku. I truly believe he would be eating with that cast. Now, this cornerback class, I don't even know if. I mean, Dan Quinn would be good with Bland and Savon River Jr., I believe. But as far as the rest of this goes, I mean, he even figured out how to use Wilson and Hooker. I'm saying all that to say, Matt Eberflus, we want you to do more with less because you have to. It's not that we want you to do more with less. You have to do more with less. And you are stubborn and you refuse to do it. Rather than you showing, I can do more with less, you seem to be focused on exposing, I don't have the players. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. If I'm Jerry, you're fired. You are not the defensive coordinator for this team. You're not aggressive enough. Even when things have worked for you, you go away from the things that work for you because you seem to be more focused on showing that, but it is your system that is best. You're fired. He doesn't have the players. He doesn't have the players. But that's the very reason why I'm firing him. You're fired. You're fired. I'm firing Matt Eberflus based on that alone. You're fired. All right, let me get another one, then I'm going to come to the comments. Overreaction number 8. And this is the one that is probably going to garner a lot of controversy. Understand, we're only at number 8, and this is overreaction. And I'm using this one because I've seen other people say it. The Cowboys should lose out. The Cowboys should lose out. Now, anybody who was on the live last night and this morning knows this is an overreaction. But I put this one because I've seen people posting this over on X. Losing out for the Cowboys would be the worst thing they could do. Losing out for the Dallas Cowboys would be the worst thing they can do. The one thing you do not want this team to get accustomed to doing is losing. They're already 6-7-1. There is no way we want this team to finish 6-10-1. Because I'm telling you, it will be a lot of collateral damage. You have to be careful when you're losing. This is why when teams tank, they try to do it organically. But the Cowboys, I mean, they shouldn't have lost the Minnesota Viking game. And for anybody to ask the Cowboys, now, maybe the Chargers game, they could organically pull off that loss. But for the Cowboys to lose to the Commanders and the Giants would be a travesty. It would be an absolute travesty. But I'm gonna come to the comments on this because I want to know what y'all think about this. There are people that are saying the Cowboys should lose out for a better draft position. I can't get with that. There is no part of me that can get with that. I can't. Your focus must always be winning. Your focus must always be winning because you want to put a winning mentality in your team. You have got to win the next 3 games. And I'm going to go into those reasons in a moment. But I just say the Cowboys, they can't do it. They can't lose the next 3. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Let me go and catch up on some of y'all's comments. Brandy said, Guyton is not bad, but I get it, G. Now, Brandy, now I want you to catch what you said. You said he's not that bad. Brandy, Do you really want to have that conversation about your left tackle and you're talking about going to the Super Bowl? Is that the conversation that you really want to have about your left tackle? He's not that bad. That's the conversation that I may be having about Nate Thomas. I do not want to be having that conversation about Guyton. I do not want to have that conversation. Because if I'm having that conversation about Guyton, he is not the left tackle to be starting on our team. Rombowski said, as a scouting director, when you whiff on using a first-round pick on Guyton, who was a right tackle in college and expected him to be a left tackle in the NFL, then you should be packing up your office and updating your resume. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you 1,000%. Greg said, really, dude, finding excuses every season. Truth is Jerry Jones. Greg, I could agree with you any other season. It's just this year is the one I can't agree with you on. Jerry went out and got players. And as good as the offense has looked, I dare you or anyone else to compare the Dallas Cowboys' offensive weapons to any other team in the NFL. And you're going to be hard-pressed to come out with probably more than 3 or 4 teams that have a better offense than the Cowboys. Even when I consider the left and right tackle situation. This is coaching with the Cowboys. I watched them line up in 11 and 12 personnel and watch the tight end miss the blocking assignment. Man, you can't do that. You just can't do that. Some of this is coaching. And we scored 26 points. I'm not tripping on that. Problem is we should be scoring more. Because if we could be better in the red zone, if we could be better on third down, man, we would be destroying. We'd be destroying teams offensively, and our defense would still be struggling because that part of the field, if you've noticed, that part is tore up. Yeah, Kevin said this team is a mess. I think it's a mess because of the defense. Derek Rose said our offensive tackles couldn't block a phone number. I agree. All 3 of them are struggling, man. All 3 of them are struggling. Ron Hanna, I think this is a great comment. Guyton can't play left tackle. We won't admit it. Our organization will not admit it. Our organization won't admit it. And we need to be admitting it. Because if we don't admit this, we're not going to improve at the tackle position when we go into the offseason. Kevin said, my thing is the coaching staff ain't got it together. It's impossible for the team as a whole to get it together. Kevin, I think the offense is pretty much there. But this is where I knock Jerry. Jerry not only hired Matt Eberflus, Jerry brought in, if I'm not mistaken, 4 of the staffers from Matt Eberflus's previous regime. And that, for me, is a problem. And Jerry hired Matt Eberflus out of continuity. Because the one thing that Jerry doesn't like to do is make huge changes on his team. But the defense is where he really needed to make the huge change. I still say they missed out on Robert Saleh. That is actually the kind of coach that you need. They need a hard-nosed defensive coach that knows X's and O's. A hard-nosed defensive coach that can pull the best out of good players and can make great players elite players and make elite players aliens. You need that kind of defensive coordinator. Cowboys don't have it. I think Brian Schottenheimer is the coach, but I think he's great as a coach. I think he's average as a play caller. And the Cowboys should really consider getting him an elite play caller. I'm not even ready to turn it over to Clayton Adams because I think that even still turns into an experiment. I want you to go and find a great offensive mind. Somebody that will come in and will hit the ground running and have these 2 wide receivers and Cavante Turpin, Ryan Flanoy, Javante, and whoever else you're going to get and have these guys on fire. Dominique Pittman said, I have to admit I was wrong about Ferg. Dominique, I think a lot of us were. You are not by yourself, bro. I think a lot of us were wrong about Ferg, bro. Even Travis Kelce. Corliss Piper, this is a very powerful statement you made. Diggs is trying to play the game that Jerry plays. This is why I can't. This is why I can't. Guys, do we not understand that the players, it's not just the coaches, the players don't want players playing the games that Jerry plays. Because when the players start playing the games that Jerry plays, then that stuff starts bleeding into the locker room. They don't want the players playing the game that Jerry plays. Because when you play the games that Jerry plays, watch this. It was the same thing with Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons would be saying things on his podcast. Not coincidental, Trayvon Diggs being a guest on that podcast. And then the media would come right into the locker room. Did you hear what Michael Parsons said on his podcast? People out there on the 3 and 4 letter networks, this is what Michael Parsons said on the podcast, and this means that the team has no faith in Dak Prescott. The players don't want it. Do y'all think that Dak Prescott wants to be now getting asked, why isn't Trayvon Diggs on the field? He better than me. Hey, Kippy, I'm having a Christian crash out. He better than me. I'd be calling these guys out. Why are you asking me that? Do you realize we just lost to the Minnesota Vikings? Don't ask me no more questions about Trayvon Diggs. Not today. Don't ask me any more questions about Trayvon Diggs. Anybody who asks any questions about Trayvon Diggs, you will not get an answer. I am not talking about this man's business. That would be me. Quasi Blake said, I have to admit I was wrong about Ferg. Bland and Easy get smashed on a lot. I might be wrong about him also. Quasi, Easy has been very good in the run game, though. And if I'm going to say that Diggs struggled playing zone, I think Bland is struggling playing zone too. But Bland played good last night. I mean, you're a cornerback, man. Man, you playing against doggone Justin Jefferson, bro. You're going to give up a touchdown. I mean, you're gonna probably give up a touchdown playing against Justin Jefferson. Just is what it is. But I thought he played well for the most part. But I also can tell that Bland is a little, I still say he's struggling in the system too, because I noticed how he didn't want to take chances last night, the way he stayed in phase rather than trying to maybe keep him in front of him and then try to make moves and stay more on his hip and then make a break on the ball. Bland did something that I saw players do more in high school than I see players do in the pros. I mean, he literally just stayed in phase with Justin Jefferson as much as he could. And he really wasn't concerned about the interceptions or knocking the ball down. He was more about staying in phase and then watching for the eyes to get big and the hands to extend and then knock down the ball. You really don't see that as much from NFL corners. I was a little bit surprised to see him do it last night. It's very fundamental, but that also tells me that Bland is probably struggling in this doggone system too. I mean, Bland is struggling in it. 72 Javale said, I'm struggling, G. The talk from S1T, let's see, S1T of the year with Diggs. He was still under contract and did his own thing with rehab his way, so I don't feel for him. Yeah. Because it's the one, and this is the part that people don't want to talk about with Diggs. It's actually the knee that he rehabbed his way the first time is the one that started giving him trouble this time. Yeah, that's the knee that started giving him the trouble. Mixed Matrix, what's going on? Good to see you. Mixed Matrix, I'd like to hear what you thought about this loss. In the chat, tell me what you thought about this loss. Let's see here. Gabe said front office poorly constructed this team along with coaching staff. I think they did a great job on the offensive side of the ball. I think where they made a mistake was on the defensive side of the ball. And to bring in Matt Eberflus and his staff was insane to me. The Cowboys tried to get a ready-made defensive coaching staff, and it didn't work. Big Ron Bowski said Diggs versus Jerry is like Bret Hart getting screwed over by Vince McMahon.
Oh, no.
Ron Bowski. Ron Bowski. Boy, they'd have to know about wrestling to understand all that. Boy, they'd have to understand. They'd have to understand some wrestling to understand that stuff, boy. 72 Chevelle. This is exactly what I've been encouraging Trayvon Diggs to do. I just wish Trayvon Diggs would be quiet. You're not helping your case. You're not helping your case. You're not going to be here next year. Do what D-Law did. D-Law didn't say a word, got his body together, and just made his mind up he wasn't playing another down for the Cowboys. Bottom line, I'd do the same thing. I would do the same thing, bro, because it is life after the Cowboys. Ask DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be competing for a Super Bowl. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to the playoffs with the Seattle Seahawks, and they are going to be in the thick of a playoff run. Trayvon Diggs, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing, bro. Focus on getting your body back right. Get your body back right. Get it 100%. Don't worry about putting any tape out there, man. The best tape you can put out there is when the Dallas Cowboys release you post-June 1st, you can tell every team in the league, bring me in for a workout in the physical, and I'll show you now where I am. That's what you need to do. All right, let's get back into this. I got a couple of more of these. I'd actually planned on going through these pretty quick, but I'm pretty sure some of y'all have already seen some of the pressers. All right. So, the Cowboys should lose out. I absolutely disagree with that. Number 9. Overreaction number 9.
Here we go.
The Cowboys can still make the playoffs.
Oh, no.
Hey, man. I'm not telling y'all the Cowboys can't make the playoffs. But at this point in time, the focus for the Cowboys need to be just winning a game. They just need to win a game. They just need to win a game. They do not need to finish this season losing. And I would even dare say, they don't even need to finish this season with a losing record. You have the opportunity in Brian Schottenheimer's first season to finish this season 9-7-1. Finish with something to build on. And don't finish trying to build through the draft and start worrying about draft position. I got a strange feeling there's not going to be a huge difference between 6-10-1 and 9-7. What is it? 9-7-1 and 6-10-1. Cowboys need to win. They need to win. You don't want to go into this thing not winning. Win. Gotta win. Angel Eyes said, what's good? I struggle. 6:30 came so quick. You ain't lying. Angel, you ain't lying.
No.
Man, daylight came quick. Angel Eyes, I don't know if you saw it last night. You might have got off too quick. I can't remember who the person was in the chat, Angel Eyes, but I don't know if you caught. He asked for your digits. He asked for your phone number. I don't know if you saw it, but I was laughing as I was getting off. He said, Angel Eyes, can I get your digits? Maybe it was a joke. Maybe you knew who that was, but they was definitely trying to get your digits. All right, let me keep going a little bit here. We have gotten to number 9. The Cowboys can still make the playoffs. The Cowboys can still make the playoffs. Let me show you this real quick. I've been so flustered I didn't even update it, but I will update it because I do, we still probably need to cover it because anything could happen. But when you start looking at the Cowboys' road to the playoffs, I don't even know if you call it a road anymore. Cowboys road to the playoffs, man. I don't know. Y'all remember when we were young, we used to walk to the store and we didn't want to go through the road and we would go through the woods and we would go through what we call the trail. I don't know if it's a road to the playoffs for the Cowboys necessarily anymore. But I would dare say it's probably more of a trail. Probably more of a trail than a road. Think right now they're saying it's a 1% chance the Cowboys could go to the playoffs. But I also say that right now the Cowboys should not be focused on going to the playoffs as much as the Cowboys have got to find a way to win. Because the one thing you want to focus on doing is you got to also say, okay, guys, this is another test for us. How do we snap a losing streak? Snap this losing streak, man. Snap this losing streak. Go out here and win and see if some things could happen for you. Again, the Cowboys have gotten themselves in some serious trouble as far as it pertains to the playoff picture because the Panthers have moved ahead of the Cowboys, and I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are ahead of the Cowboys. They have that wrong. They're 6-8. The Cowboys would still beat them if it was a playoff run because they have a half game less loss. But the Panthers have pulled ahead of the Cowboys. And so for the Cowboys to truly go to the playoffs, it is going to require, and let me look at this real quick. Excuse me. Hey, just for fun, I guess we could go ahead and just update this while we're looking at it. The Cowboys still have a chance. And I think there's a 1% chance, but I don't really think the Cowboys should be focusing on that 1% chance as much as the Cowboys. The Cowboys need to be focusing on winning. Bro, you got to win a game, man. The Cowboys need to win a game. That's the real issue. They need to win a game. The Eagles or the Bears are 10-4. The Eagles are 9-5. The Packers, the thing that happened with Michael Parsons is an absolute travesty. And I don't appreciate the media after the Cowboys have just had a devastating loss. I do not appreciate the media asking the Cowboys, have you heard what happened to Michael Parsons? Because I'm grieving a loss that has knocked me out of the playoffs. And now you want to ask me about Michael Parsons. Bro, I can't process those two things. I might not even give the response that people think I ought to give. And then people will run around and start faulting me about, oh, yeah, the Cowboys or so-and-so was glad. They didn't seem to be too concerned at what happened to Michael Parsons. Man, don't ask me that at that point in time. Don't ask me something like that. But again, yesterday, the Lions got trounced. And we kind of figured, I still kind of figured, the Lions beat the Cowboys. Lions ain't going nowhere, y'all. The Lions aren't going anywhere. The Bears, I believe, were going to beat the Packers even before the injuries. But I am totally convinced Ben Johnson is going to get the Coach of the Year. What Ben Johnson has done is nothing short of phenomenal. And this is why I'll never listen to people talk about Dak Prescott being the problem. Caleb Williams has been the problem for the Bears all season long. And Ben Johnson continues to win. Continues to win. Very creative play caller. The Bears are going to beat the Packers. The 49ers may be a loss, but I also think they beat the Lions. They're going to probably finish around 11-6. I believe Ben Johnson is going to get the coach of the year. Mess around, Ben Johnson might even win the last 3 games, and he will undoubtedly be the coach of the year because that's a crazy turnaround. If I'm not mistaken, the Panthers got beat yesterday, correct? Might as well update all of this as we're talking. So the Saints have actually swept the Carolina Panthers. Kellen Moore may actually be a formidable coach over the next couple of years. The Vikings beat the Cowboys. Let's see here about this Viking schedule because I'm wondering if I got... Okay, this is where I got it mixed up. Had a less loss for them. They're actually 6-8. So the reality is the Vikings, the Cowboys are still ahead of the Vikings because the Cowboys have a half a game less loss. So we let the stinking Vikings beat us. And so that's kind of where we are with that. But the team who we were really, the team that we were really looking at is, I'm thinking that it is the Green Bay Packers. Let's look. Let me pull this up. But this is definitely an overreaction. I'm hearing people saying the Cowboys are still in the playoffs. They're saying the Cowboys are still in the playoffs. Boy, I'm telling you, that chance is super, super slim. And the reason why this chance is super, super slim is the team that's 7th seed. They need to lose every single game. But even if the Packers were to lose every single game from this point forward, see, that would put them at 9-7-1. Here's the problem with that. Even if the Cowboys make 9-7-1, maybe I'm missing this, but the Packers have actually beaten teams that we did not beat. And that in itself would make the Packers win the tiebreaker over us. I don't understand the 1%. I guess I don't understand how it could happen. Y'all explain it to me. Maybe another... I mean, even another tie would make them have less losses. I don't really understand how we could tie with the Packers at the end of this and how we could tie with the Packers at the end of this and still be in the playoffs. I don't even understand the 1%. Maybe I'll look that up here in just a moment. But they're saying the Cowboys have a 1% chance. I don't think the Cowboys have a 1% chance. Right now they have the so the Cowboys, last night I saw that the Vikings were ahead of the Cowboys, so now they got it right. The Cowboys in the number 10 spot, so they need the Panthers to lose out. They need the Lions to lose out, and that would still get them to number 8. I don't see how, and let me see here, what does it say? It says there is a negative, matter of fact, that's a negative 1%. I don't understand how. Somebody try to explain it to me in the chat if you can. Matter of fact, I'll ask the artificial intelligence here in just a moment. How did the Cowboys make the playoffs? Because I don't think they can make the playoffs. Because I can tell you this: if they actually needed the Broncos to lose, needed the Packers to lose out. Looking over here at the Packers' schedule, there is a possibility that they could lose out without Michael Parsons and that crew that they've lost. The only game that I still think that they could probably win would be the Vikings. But looking at this schedule right here, it wouldn't surprise me if the Packers lost out. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me, but it still doesn't help the Cowboys. Doesn't help the Cowboys. Our mistake is we've lost to 2 teams that we shouldn't have lost to. We lost to the Lions. Came back and lost to the Vikings. Didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. And so now we got the Chargers. And I still say what's going to make people mad, I won't be surprised if the Cowboys beat the Chargers. And then we're really going to be confused because we're going to be asking, how did they beat the Chargers, but they couldn't beat the Lions or the Vikings, who the Chargers beat the Vikings, Vikings beat us, we beat the Chargers. We're going to be confused. I'm telling you, we're going to be totally confused. So, again, let's kind of figure, that's kind of where we are. The Cowboys still have a chance. But I really don't think this is about the Cowboys having that 1% chance to go to the playoffs. And I'm going to come to the comments in a moment. I don't think this is about the Cowboys having that 1% chance. I think this is about the Cowboys not having a losing season and having something to build on going into next season. Man, don't end this thing with a losing season. Let me see something here. Oh, okay. I did not think of this one. Okay. The reason why I didn't think of this one is because I didn't think it was possible. Okay. All right. Quasi Blake said none of those players are top 5 at their position. G, I disagree. Okay, top 5. Wait a minute. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about Dak, CD, and those guys? Oh, yeah. Dak, CD. If you're talking about them, they are top 5. Dak, CD, George Pickens, Javonte Williams. Statistically, he has been top 5. Brandy, Spanford, yeah, dropped the pass. We need better. I say we need a dynamic tight end. Okay, you are talking about them. Yeah, Dak's top 5. No, Dak's top 5. Dak right now is top 3 in every single category in the league. And he's number 1 in some of those. But yeah, your opinion is respected. But if you're looking at the numbers, and even if you're looking at the tape, Dak Prescott is a top 5, top 3 quarterback. Yeah, Rombowski, yeah, solid. Yeah, we probably never were going to get him. Solid's one of the top paid defensive coordinators in the league. I think the Cowboys should have got him. Something Jerry simply doesn't do, which is paying top dollar for coordinators and position coaches. I agree, and that's a mistake. Derrick Rose, I agree with you. This team should be reluctantly scoring 40 points every game based on just having Lamb and Pickens and Dak Prescott. I agree. Boy, Jaden Justin. When Arbery missed those 2 field goals, I almost fainted. Man. I could not believe it. 40 Bill Bates fan, I'm going to tell you something, man, you might not want to hear. I think Brian Schottenheimer did have some say-so in these ingredients. No, he had some say-so. Because they said that George Pickens was Jerry. George Pickens was Jerry and Shotty. Who do you think wanted Javonte Williams? Jerry wasn't looking at no Javonte Williams. That's Brian Schottenheimer. Getting Tyler Booker. That's Jerry and Brian Schottenheimer's influence. Now, Brian has had some input on this entire staff. Matt Eberflus, no. Everyone else, yes. Players, yes, and yes. He has had some input. Definitely have had some input. All right, so this 1% chance for the Cowboys. Let's look at it. This is the scenario. I hadn't thought about this. And the reason why I hadn't thought about it is because it's not probable. Here are the precise scenario. Here's the precise scenario for the Cowboys' 1% chance. The Cowboys must win out. Dallas must win their remaining games against the Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. I think all three of those games now have become extremely tough for the Cowboys. Chargers are going to be tough. They have a very, very good defense, very physical defense. I think that's going to be tough. Justin Herbert has been running his butt off the last few weeks. That's going to be tough. It also says, number 2, it would require the Philadelphia Eagles to lose all of their remaining games. Wow. Huh. Okay. Let me pull back. Let me go back to the road to the playoffs. This is why I say the Cowboys just need to focus on winning a game. Having the Philadelphia Eagles to lose the remainder of their games. So the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, they beat the Raiders. They beat the Raiders, which has put them at 9-5. I think it is feasible the Eagles will lose against the Commanders and the Bills. I do think that is feasible because I thought that was already going to happen. I already thought this was going to be the scenario. I thought the Cowboys would win their last 4 and the Eagles would beat the Raiders and the Commanders on the last game of the season, but they would lose these 2 road games to the Commanders and the Bills. That was what I thought they were going to do. But to lose, as hard as it is to beat a team 2 times in 3 weeks, I also think it's improbable to lose to the same team in 3 weeks. This is a scenario that I don't think is probable. But this is a battle of attrition. You never know what injury could happen between these 3 games. And for that reason alone, the Cowboys have got to just say, we're going to let's beat the Chargers. And then let's see what happens. So they got to keep playing. They have to keep playing. For me, it's about playing for the pride and something to build on going into next season. Because this is what the Cowboys did in 1991. But they actually went to the playoffs. Troy Aikman got hurt, went on a win streak, got in the playoffs, won 1 game in the playoffs. They built off of that the following season, went to the Super Bowl in 1992. Well, the Cowboys, what I think they need to do is just win out, finish at 9-7-1, and if the playoffs are there, they're there, and if they're not, they're not. You look back on the season and you go, we had a winning season. There were some games that we should have won that we didn't win. Now, how do we make that correction of that when we get to this point again next year, we win the games we're supposed to win? Because this is what has plagued the Cowboys for years, even before Dak Prescott, even in years when the Cowboys had chances when Dak wasn't here, even during the Tony Romo years. There were years under Garrett where Tony Romo and this team had opportunities and they didn't seize it. Even under Bill Parcells, there were opportunities and this team didn't seize it. Brian has got to figure out going forward, how do I break the generational Jerry Jones curse? How does he break it? But this is the scenario that they're talking about. The Eagles would have to lose to the Commanders, the Bills, and the Commanders. I think they're going to lose 2 of the 3. I'm not buying what Jalen Hurts is selling. Yeah, you know, people got to know where I'm from. Jalen Hurts, we're not listening to you, bro. It was the Raiders. It was the Raiders. I'm not listening to you talking about we're back on track. Bro, you're going to play the Bills, and we're going to see exactly what we know you are. And I got a strange feeling the Commanders. I got a strange feeling they're going to have a problem with the Commanders too. I got a strange feeling. But the problem is, I can believe they lose 1. I can believe they lose 2. Whew. Losing 3 in a row, ooh. 2 was asking a lot. Man, 3, shoo. Man, this Man, this is a deal with the devil right here. Rod,
No.
Rod Hatter, you talking about this playoff thing, man? Bro, I don't even think this, bro, I don't even think this is realistic, man. I think losing 2 of 3 is realistic. I don't think losing 3 of 3 is realistic for the Eagles. I don't think losing 3 of 3 is realistic. I don't think it's realistic. But stranger things have happened. And for that reason, Dallas Cowboy fans, this is the reason why I say the Cowboys have to get a win. Beat the Chargers. Get your record to 7-6-1. See where everything falls this week. Maybe the Eagles do fall to the Commanders. You come back the next week on Christmas Day. You come back on Christmas Day. Beat the Commanders. Beat the Commanders on Christmas Day. That gets you to 8-6-1. Philadelphia Eagles will play the Buffalo Bills after that. I'm book. You can book it. The Bills are beating the Eagles in Buffalo. They're beating them. You mess around and you're 8-6-1, and they're 9-6 or 9-7 basically. It comes down to the last game. But you got to get a win. That's the key. The Cowboys have got to get a win. The Cowboys got to learn, and this is why I say, for me, this isn't about the playoffs. That's why I say that the playoff scenario, it's an overreaction. But what isn't an overreaction is the Cowboys need to win. And that is going to bring me to the last overreaction, and then y'all tell me if these are overreactions. But that brings me to the last overreaction. The Cowboys need to keep winning.
Yes! Here we go!
The Cowboys need to keep winning. Because you don't know what's going to happen. As much as what we say, what could happen, what might not happen. At the end of the day, we still don't know what's going to happen. So when you don't know what's going to happen, the best advice is control what you can control. Win, and win. And see where everything falls. That's the only thing you can do. And Brian Schottenheimer, this is an opportunity for him. Let's see what he made of. Let's see what he's made of. Can you stop the bleeding? Can you bounce back? I'm not as impressed if you bounce back against the lowly Washington Commanders. I'm more impressed if you can bounce back against the Los Angeles Chargers. Bounce back against a winning team. That is what will give your team confidence going forward. And you might as well study the tape. Might as well study the tape on what the Minnesota Vikings did and the Detroit Lions did. You might as well study the tape because that's exactly what the Chargers are about to do too. It's a copycat league, Rombowski. They're going to do exactly, because Minnesota, they not only did what they do, but they also took some pages out of Detroit's book. That's how they were able to wrap up George Pickens. So you just got to do what you got to do. You got to go out there and control what you can control. Win. Jaden Justin, man, you can just tell where my mind is because I didn't even think of that scenario. But that's it. Angel Eyes, I'm telling you, I didn't even think about it because I'm like, it's so highly improbable. It's so highly improbable. Rubowski said 1% cover the man, I can't even stop laughing at that one. But it can happen. If you told me they were going to lose 2 out of 3, because I thought they were going to lose 2 out of 3, Eagles are not going undefeated down the stretch. The Bills are going to beat them bare minimum. The Bills will beat them bare minimum. But the Commanders ain't before the Bills. But I just don't see the Commanders being able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 2 times in 3 weeks. Because I don't think the Eagles can beat the Commanders 2 times in 3 weeks. I don't. Jeremy Betts, I agree with you. Man, Cowboys had their opportunity and they blew that all. They blew it. All they had to do was taking care of business. And you didn't need any team to lose. And let me see. And the Smeagol's not losing 3 straight like someone else alluded to. You wouldn't even need it. You would have the Eagles on pin and needles that they won out. The Eagles would be on pin and needles every single game. No, Hard Knocks, y'all are a little bit behind me. And again, Hard Knocks, bro, I didn't even think about that as a possibility. I almost see it as an impossibility. Asking them to lose 3 of the last, losing out, that requires, and I don't even want that, but that would require some kind of injury. No, I don't want that. Quasi Blake, I agree with you on this too. Those are 2 games that we shouldn't have lost, Arizona and Carolina. Yep. That Arizona game hurt, man. That Arizona game was at home. And they are bad to this day. They are still bad. Kevin Edwards. Not only have they watched the tape on Dak, more importantly, they've watched the tape on Brian Schottenheimer. And a lot of these DCs are realizing that Brian is an average play caller. Brian Schottenheimer is an average play caller, at least this season. Maybe next season he'll be better. Maybe he'll go back, watch all of his tape, watch the games, look at some things that he did wrong and say, okay, I could have done this, could have did this better. Then he goes and looks at some of the top offenses in the league, look at some of the things that they did and say, I'm going to come back and I'm going to implement some of this into what I do. And then maybe he comes back better next year. Maybe he comes back better. But this year, he's an average play caller. He's just an average play caller. No, Bill Bates. He actually hired, I'm thinking he hired Matt Eberflus first, and they kind of did the defense, but he hired Schotty, and then they hired the offensive pieces. Because the reason why I know this is Bill Bates is because Jerry was bragging about the fact that Brian Schottenheimer took out the time to interview every single coaching candidate. Jerry himself said that. You don't interview every coaching candidate if they're hired before you. You interview them hired after you. Now, whether or not his interview had any impact, I can't tell you it did or didn't. But I can tell you that he actually did interview the entire coaching staff before they got hired. And still, like I brought up, Bill Bates, I told Chanel the same thing. In actuality, they were not hired before Schotty because Schotty has been on this team since 2022. So the reality is Schotty was already here. So Schotty interviewed, at least according to Jerry, every single coach. That's what Jerry said. But I still say the mistake they made was hiring Matt Eberflus. I think it was a mistake because of the way he got let go of in Chicago. He had a player issue. Matt Eberflus had a player issue and a locker room issue. The players were like going at him hard. It was terrible. It was the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing to do. All right, let's see here. Angela, she said that Jerry Jones curse is strong. He'll have to leave. Amber Crowder, nothing you saying is making sense. They already have their short-term quarterback if they needed him. That's Joe Milton. Their long-term quarterback is not on this team. And why would you waste a draft pick on a quarterback when you got Joe Milton, who can back up Dak Prescott at least for the next 2 to 3 seasons, and Dak Prescott still has 2 big seasons, 2 big years left on that contract. He's going nowhere. They're not getting a quarterback. And not to mention, Dak Prescott is top 3 in the league this year at the quarterback position. Dak Prescott is the least of their worries. And even the Dak Prescott haters are saying this for the most part. Bert says the Eagles are 9-5. They only need to win 1 game. That's it. Now, Bert, let's use a little bit of reverse psychology. That could be a little bit of pressure on them too. Maybe they begin to press. Bert, I'm reaching. I'm reaching. But maybe they feel pressure. And maybe they feel pressed to win a game, and I don't think it has nothing to do with being pressed as it goes with the Buffalo Bills. They were already going to get smacked. The Bills were already going to beat the Eagles. They're going to beat the Eagles. I'm telling you, they're going to beat the Eagles in Buffalo. I already thought that it would be hard for the Eagles to beat the Commanders 2 times out of 3. 2 times in 3 weeks is tough. But I can tell you this, if they beat them this game and then they play the Bills, and even if they lose, the Eagles probably won't even concern themselves with winning that last Commanders game because they will already have the division won. So that's my top 10. That is my top 10. Go back over them one more time. The Cowboys should fire Matt Eberflus. The Cowboys need a top-notch play caller. George Pickens is checked out on the Cowboys. The Cowboys need to see what Jaden Blue is the remainder of the season. The Cowboys should not play Diggs the remainder of the season. The Cowboys' tackles are terrible. Matt Eberflus isn't just bad, but the players are too. The Cowboys should lose out. The Cowboys can still make the playoffs. The Cowboys should keep trying to win. Those are my 10 overreactions on Overreaction Monday. All right. So we will not be able to get to these other topics, even though we've already discussed done with Diggs. We've actually also discussed cut Flus loose, so we don't have to do that one. But I do want to go through this video that I found on the internet about how to beat cover 0. Because Brian Schottenheimer was saying he didn't have an answer for it. Dak Prescott was saying this is one of the most frustrating games he's ever been a part of. Goes to show you just how bad this situation was. So I wanted to see, how do you beat cover 0? How do you beat it? Poobie D, I have no choice but to agree with you. I do believe Jerry doesn't like hiring coaches that challenge him. Ben Johnson would have challenged Jerry. Aaron Glenn would have challenged Jerry. Robert Saleh would have challenged Jerry. That's why he did not look at those 3 coaches in particular. And when you look at 2 of the 3 of those coaches, man, Ben Johnson, man, I love Shotty. I think he's the head coach for the team. But boy, Ben Johnson is going to win Coach of the Year, I believe. Coach of the Year. All right, let me show you something that I found. Hi,
everybody. Welcome.
How do you beat cover 0? How do you do it? Well, I found somebody on this. Maybe he'll introduce himself. But I'll show you how he's going to tell us how do you beat cover 0. Maybe I should forward this to Brian Schottenheimer.
Welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, how to beat cover zero part 2. So revisit a topic. This is one of the most important topics I think you can talk about if you are a fan of offense, if you play quarterback, if you want to know how to play quarterback at a high level. You got to have a plan. How do you beat cover zero?
Okay, hold on just a sec. He said this is part 2. I'd like to see part 1. All right, maybe we'll just do part 2 here. Hold on a second. He said this is part 2. Let's see. And of course, there's a ton of videos of this on the internet, but obviously that's in
Hi, everybody.
another
Welcome
course.
to the QB School. I'm JT.
But let's go. I'm pretty sure he'll still give us some of the basics. Let's check this video out, though.
Today, how to beat cover zero part 2. So revisit a topic. This is one of the most important topics I think you can talk about if you are a fan of offense, if you play quarterback, if you want to know how to play quarterback at a high level. You got to have a plan. How do you beat cover zero? We're diving into it. Great example from the college game. Fired up. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. So you dig this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get the notifications, let you know when we go live, when we put out new content. I appreciate the support for the channel. Then you want longer form videos. Get over to the QB School Patreon community. Handful of videos come out every single month. Great way to get longer, more in-depth videos. Then if you want more information on RPOs and really what I think is the best information available on RPOs and you dig the channel, you will love the RPO course. So click on the video, click on the link, middle field player. There's no safety deep. They're bringing pressure with more people closer to the course material. What we're going to be looking at, one of the ways you want to beat cover zero, meaning that there's no middle field player, there's no safety deep. They're bringing pressure with more people than we have blocking. We are going to get hit playing quarterback if we hold on to the ball for too long with a free runner. We want to take a shot down the field and hit a big post.
Now, Dak Prescott last night did a really good job. If I'm not mistaken, there was only, 2 sacks? Dak Prescott did a very good job of getting away from this blitz and sometimes getting the ball out of his hands. Sometimes it was batted down. Sometimes his arm got hit. Then they were able to do so many things because they were so quick and aggressive. But the part where the Cowboys made the biggest mistake is what he's talking about. They never went for the deep shots down the middle of the field. And you don't even have to see it. You just needed to take a couple of shots of understanding where the receivers were and just throw it in the vicinity and just let them go up and get it, in particular George Pickens. And this is what they did not do.
And so it's easier said than done because technically the DBs are usually off and inside. They know that they don't have help to the middle. They are hedging that the ball is going to come out quickly. So if we can block it up and we get a shot to throw it down the field, there's some big plays to be made. Now, I think the things that are really important to talk about when we're talking cover zero, big post down the field, besides for the protection unit and the time clock in the quarterback's head, is the landmark. And so it's really important for the wide receiver to dig. And I mean, boom, boom, head down, pumping. When they turn and look, we want them looking up, not back at the ball. That's one element of the perimeter unit. The other element for the ball location for the quarterback, as far as having a landmark where to throw, I think the easiest way to do this is to the boundary and throw it right down the hash. Say, whatever, if it's maybe 40 yards, 35 yards.
See, this was the point I made. When it comes to beating cover zero, I don't need to see the wide receiver. I don't need to see CeeDee Lamb throw his hand up. I don't need to see anything. This is what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, boom, it's gone. It's gone. I'm not even thinking about interception, knockdown, Nothing. 1, 2, 3, boom, it's gone. So we're basically talking about a 40-yard dash. Bro, I'm just throwing it. 40, 50 yards. Go get it. Go get it. And I'm throwing it right to the boundary. Or I'm throwing it right down the middle. Go get it. This is a place where Shotty sometimes wants to be too safe. It's not a sure thing. But you still got to take the chance. You have got to take the chance. If they're going to telegraph to you, that's what they're running. You got to go. You got to go. Rombowski said, yeah, he said it's easier said than done. You can't be cover zero if your O-line can't protect the quarterback long enough that he can have a 5-step drop. I don't need him to have a 5-step drop. I'm going to put him in shotgun. I don't need a 5-step. He's already back there. Get that ball. You bounce back one time and you let it rip. Let it rip. Boom. Bounce back and let it rip. You don't need to do all the fancy footwork because you're not going to have a chance to do it. This was one of the places they failed. They failed. They absolutely failed here. The Minnesota Vikings did some good things, but the Cowboys did some scary things. Too scared to take the chances. I would have at least taken 7 of these shots. I'd have brought them out of that. Let's see what else he says.
Yards, less if you're in high school, more if you're in the league. Down the field on the hash is the landmark. And so when you see this happen versus cover zero, a quarterback gets smacked, great completion with anticipation. That A word we talk about all the time on this channel, throwing a post before the wide receiver's out of his break.
That's it.
You're going to get smacked. If you don't want to get smacked, do not play quarterback. If you
That's
don't want to
it.
get hit, don't play football. But playing quarterback, you're in a vulnerable spot when you go to throw the ball. You have to be willing to take those shots, look right down the barrel, deliver the ball, and get smacked. But big plays come. And I get excited as a fan of quarterback play at a high level when I see.
And the crazy thing is, Dak was getting smacked. Dak was getting smacked. But Brian didn't make it worth his while. When you look at the POV of Dak Prescott, point of view from behind the quarterback, go look at the All-22. Middle of the field, wide open. And you're going to see wide receivers running comeback routes. You're not going to see them aggressively getting down the field. If Dak is in shotgun, 1, 2, 3, but 3, it should be ripped out of there. It should be launched. It's not what we're doing. No, I saw that one, Quasi Blake. That play right there was that play, they let that play develop too much. I saw that, Quasi Blake. By the time he started making that break, Dak was already running for his life. But had that been CD Lamb, and I'll put it like this, Quasi Blake, I'd rather have George Pickens lined up inside running that skinny post. Let George Pickens run that, because then I trust just letting it rip. I trust letting it rip. Flournoy hasn't built that kind of trust with Dak Prescott. Ron Bowski said, either way, the O-line simply can't pass protect this season. You're right. They're the biggest disappointment to me all season. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's check out some more of this video.
And right here, we got SMU, Shane Buechele dropping an absolute dime versus Houston. Let's check it out. So we're going to let this thing play a number of times, but what happens here is just a massive post to the number 1 receiver up top. And it's not perfect by any means quarterback-wise, but the delivery and the ball is perfect.
Now, let's look at this, Rumbowski. This is exactly what I was talking about. I want y'all to watch what this quarterback does. This dude barely sets his feet, and he lets it rip. Watch this.
Dropping an absolute dime versus Houston. Let's check it out.
Watch this. He's barely even going to set his feet.
Play a number of times, but what happens here is just a massive post to the number 1 receiver up top. And it's not.
He just throws it off his back foot. Just throws it off his back foot, lets it rip. He didn't throw it to a player. He threw it to a place.
By any means, quarterback-wise, but the delivery and the ball is perfect. And so, yeah, you'd love to get in the end zone. You'd love for this thing to finish with a touchdown. Again,
the
footwork here, just being honest about the evaluation for whatever's happening with the ball handling.
Footwork, trash. He ain't trying to worry about his footwork. All he wants to do is let it rip.
Looks a little off. The drop is a little bit extra at the end. Who knows exactly what it's supposed to be unless you're in the room. But then concept-wise, they got a chance for a bunch.
See, he could have actually let this rip right here. I mean, this actually looks like the Cowboys' offensive line. The way they go, the way they running through them players. I mean, it looks like the Cowboys' offensive line. This dude could have let this rip right there. Took a little bit of an extra step, and he let that thing go.
Bunch of winners.
Right there. Bam! Let it go, bro.
Mistake on defense here. The number 2 up top in the slot is running free.
Should have did the same thing with that.
This safety down here to the bottom of the screen kind of falls into that guy because the tight end
should have did the same thing with that.
Stays into block. Otherwise, that number 2 would be really.
Well, actually, Dak Finn for life. They tried to run a slant with George Pickens and they stopped it because what teams are doing with George Pickens is they're actually sitting on that slant route. They got that from the Detroit Lions. They're sitting on it. They're not letting them get it no more. They're sitting on it. The Chargers are going to do the same thing. They're going to sit on that route. The cornerback is even going to play inside position on that route because he knows that it's coming. And so if he knows it's coming, he's going to automatically cheat. And the moment he sees George make that break, he's got the advantage. He's going to dig on it, and he's going to make the play. That's why it didn't work that's why it didn't work last night. That's why it didn't work against Detroit. Quick slants aren't working anymore. They're not working anymore. They're sitting on that route. They're daring the Cowboys to run sluggos. They're daring them. And we won't do it. They're daring Brian Schottenheimer to run a sluggo. They won't do it. We're too conservative. We don't want to make the big mistake. We're too conservative. I understand we got a bad defense, but they're giving up points anyway. Man, you got to take some chances. They don't want to give it up. Teams are begging for double moves from George Pickens. We refuse to do it. They should have been hitting him deep. They should have been hitting them way deep because there's nobody back there. There's nobody back there. The Vikings on some plays didn't even have this. Where this player is standing, man, the Vikings had the entire defensive line crowded. They didn't even have this. Didn't take advantage of it. Didn't do it at all. Run the fly or post corner slant. Hey, let it rip. Let it rip. We didn't do it.
Running free. But again, that post to the number 1 receiver.
Let it rip.
It's an absolute dime. And then the number 3 up top is the wheel. And if they would have blocked it correctly, if the right tackle doesn't take an L here, that wheel is going to be.
Now, isn't it funny? This offensive line is making some of the same mistakes the Cowboys offensive line makes. Heard what he just said? They didn't block some of the assignments. They missed some assignments on this. But this is where I fault the coaching staff. They should have been working on this furiously all week long. Hey, cover 0, the blitz. Let's work on just throwing it to a spot. Let's just work on throwing it to a hash. Let's just work on throwing it this amount and that amount. Let's work on, you're in shotgun, 1, 2, throw it. You got to work on that. They need to be working on it this week. You have to practice this relentlessly. Because all the other stuff they've been running it anyway. You don't have to practice that as relentless. But when teams are forcing you to change what you do, you go into practice and you dedicate an entire practice to this and say, hey, this is what they're going to be doing. This is what we've seen on film. This is why we got to play this. Everybody has got to be on point. We running all out blitzes all week long. Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. This is it. Gavontae Turpin. This is what we're running. We're running shotgun, 2 steps, let it rip. Dak isn't even going to look for you. Don't even throw your hands up. We're letting it rip. We don't have time for Dak to be looking at you throwing your hands up. We need you to get off the ball, beat your man, and we're letting it rip. Why wouldn't you do this with Kevontae Turpin? He's the perfect player to do this with. Why wouldn't you do this with Ryan Flanoy? Ryan Flanoy runs a 4.440. And they did do it on one skinny post. Quasi brought that up. But they should have been doing it more. More and more and more and more. You have got to get them out of that zero coverage. You got to get them out of it. Gronkowski, one of the worst offensive lines in the league when it comes to pass blocking. They've done okay with run blocking, though. Gronkowski. I've said this for weeks. Dak has actually made them look better than they are. Most quarterbacks would have been sacked way more than Dak Prescott. And that's why when Brian Schottenheimer made that comment, one of the things I'm proud of, we've kept Dak Prescott up most of the season. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. Dak Prescott has kept himself up. With pocket presence, stepping up, stepping to the side, getting out of the pocket, extending the play. Dak Prescott has kept himself up. And Dak Prescott, it had not been for his pocket savvy, they wouldn't have even won 6 games. Horace said, our receivers are not sprinting like that at all. Our receivers loft the field. This is the key. And I do say, you're on to something, Horace. This is why they needed to practice this. They needed to tell CD and tell George, this is the plan this week. Y'all got to get off the ball this week. George, no galloping, no gliding. We need you off the ball this week. Just flat out, straight down the field, fast as you can. It's yours. We're throwing it up. We're throwing it up. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. KH, I'm with you in the respect. It's crazy to me that you're not throwing it and you got a quarterback you're paying $60 million. Bro, let it rip. Let it rip.
The real big hitter. But again, nobody in the middle of the field. Nobody even behind the umpire. You know, this is pretty rare.
Minnesota did this quite a bit. They didn't even have a guy where the umpire is. There were plays looking at the film. You're like, they're daring the Cowboys to go downfield. They're basically telling them, we're willing to leave the middle of the field wide open if you can throw it. I bet you I can throw it. I'll line Dak Prescott up in the shotgun. And as a matter of fact, I'd even practice something even better. Hey, Dak, we're going to do something a little different this week. We're going to get you back a little further in the shotgun. We want you to stand maybe an extra step or 2 steps back. You in the center this week, we want y'all to practice on a hike that is maybe a step or 2 steps further back, because we want you to be able to have the time, because we know Nate Thomas is in here and we know we got Terrence Steele. We want to give you the time to let it rip. Brothers and sisters, this is called coaching. I'm not going to allow you. That's my job. It's my job to say, not that I can't do it, how do I do it? That's my job, because that's where Matt Eberflus messes up. Matt Eberflus focuses more on what he can't do rather than on how to do it. And that's why Matt Eberflus needs to be fired for me. I don't need you telling me what we can't do. I don't need you telling me the players and this and you can't do this because of the players. So figure it out. That's why I hired you. I didn't hire you to tell me what I already know. I hired you to tell me and do what I don't know. That's what I hired you for. Figure it out. That's what I want you to do. Figure it out. That's what you do. That's called coaching. Somebody who is not a coach says, hey, man, we can't get that play because by the time we make 2 steps, they're going to be in the backfield. Well, how about you step back 2 steps further? Let's work on that this week. I need you to work on hiking that ball 2 steps further. Let's work on it. That way Dak doesn't have to make a 5-step drop. Dak goes 1-2, let it rip. Let it rip. And I'm not throwing it to a player. I'm throwing it to a place. George, go get it. Flournoy, go get it. CD, go get it. Turpin, I know you can go get it. I know you can go get it, Turpin. The Cowboys didn't take enough chances. If you're going to run all-out blitz coverage on me, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to run empty backfield on you. I'm going to take that chance. I'm going to run an empty backfield on you. I'm going to run an empty backfield. I'm going to keep a tight end on that offensive line, and I'm going to line him up on the side. It's this simple for me. I'm going to put that tight end in motion where I see the heaviest part of that blitz coming from. Dak, I need you pre-snap. I need you to read. What side is that blitz coming from? Motion the tight end to that side. That's the side we're going to get the help on. I'm going to line up 4 wide receivers. I'm going to put Turpin on one side inside. I'll put Ryan Flournoy inside on the other side. I'll let them run the seams. I'll put George and I'll put CeeDee Lamb out there on the boundaries. And I'm telling them, you go for what you know. Go for what you know. I need the 2 on the inside. Maybe one of y'all run a deep post. The other one runs a go. On the other side, I need the guy on the outside. If the inside guy is running a go, I need you to also make a deep slant towards the post. We're letting it rip. Forget all this conservative stuff. We're letting it rip. That's called coaching. I am not allowing, and this is my problem, not only with Eberflus, this is my problem with Brian. You don't let people take away George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. You don't let them take them away. That's your job. I didn't get George Pickens for you to come back and tell me, hey, why did George Pickens only get 6 receptions a day? Hey, they cheated over to his side. They took away this and they took away. I don't want to hear that part. I saw that on TV. What I want you to tell me is, how were you not able to counter what they did? That's what I hired you for. Because if you can't do this, then I got to get me somebody that when I ask them, when I come in the room with them, they're actually telling me this is how we got George Pickens open. This is how we got CeeDee Lamb open. This is how we beat that zero coverage. Man, this stuff, and I'm not telling you it's easy because it is easier said than done. But the operative word is done. Can you get it done? Because that's what the great coaches do. That's what the Super Bowl coaches do. That's what the NFC Championship Super Bowl coaches do. The great coaches get it done. The good coaches walk into rooms saying, hey man, that's easier said than done. Hey, man, you don't understand. Hey, man, you don't know what they did. That's what good coaches do. You're not going anywhere with good coaches. You're not going anywhere. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how it is. You're not going anywhere with good coaches. You need great coaches. Great coaches looks at this and says, I can do it. I can do it.
The umpire right here, we've got the number 1 receiver who catches the post right here. Normally, this DB will be inside him more just because there is no middle of the field player.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier.
But again, this over right here, technically no one's covering him. This guy falls into it because this tight end stays in the block.
Yep.
But again, where the post goes, beautiful throw. Obviously, the throw is absolutely outstanding. But then the concept is great too because we get this wheel up the sideline by the extra tight end or fullback type. And that would have been a big hitter, too, if the right tackle doesn't take an L. So, again, I love the concept, but I really love the anticipation from
it. And there's so many different things. If you are a very smart play caller, why would you not, as I said earlier, why would you not have this on both sides? Why would you not line this up on both sides? Oh, y'all going to run cover 0? We running trips to the outside. Let's see what you do with that. Because somebody is about to make a move here. One of these players that y'all got blitzed is going to have to make a move. Because I'm telling you now, we're running trips. We're going to run trips to this side. We'll even line a tight end up on this side. And we'll have him to run a quick up and out. But somebody getting open. You're not holding me. I'm just telling you. And I don't call myself a football guru. But I'm promising you, you're not stopping me with George Pickens and CD Lamb. You're not stopping me. You're not stopping me. I'm destroying you with those two wide receivers. There's nothing you can do for me. There's nothing you can do to stop me with those two wide receivers. It is my job to figure out how to make sure those two receivers are always active in the game. I'll be doggone if I'll go a whole quarter without throwing the ball to CD Lamb, a whole quarter going without throwing the ball to George Pickens. I wish I would let you do that to me. I quit if I do. I quit. Because you're better than me. I quit. And I'm not going to let you be better than me. I am not going to let you be better than me.
The quarterback. It's just special. It's elite. And it doesn't always have to be pretty.
Say it again. It doesn't have to be pretty. It don't have to be pretty. I don't care about hook or crook. You get that ball down the field and you make them start thinking about, hey man, maybe we need to come out of this. Maybe we need to come out of this cover zero. They done hit about 3 big ones down the field. And even if they're not hitting them, bro, they getting close. They've hit like 1 of 3. They've hit 2. Man, you don't need to hit them all night. You don't have to hit those all night. You just need to say, hey, man, we're going to run about 7, 8 of these. Matter of fact, we might even run more. Because if they're going to keep playing stupid games, they're going to get stupid prizes. But we're going to hit this play. Man, if you hit this play, I want y'all to think about the odds on this play. Let's say you run this play 8 times. If you hit this play 8 times, you probably blew this team out. But that's not the way you're thinking. If I can hit this play 3 out of 8 times, that's 21 points. I don't have to hit this play. I don't have to hit this play 8 times. I just need to run it 8 times. And can I hit on it 3? Can I hit on it 4? Because if I hit on it 3 or if I hit on it 4, that's either 21 or 28. And by the time I probably hit on it that 3rd time, Brian Flores is going to be on that sideline talking about, hey, man, we're down by 14 because we're running this zero coverage, man. We're going to have to make some changes. We're going to have to play a little bit more conventional and traditional. Yeah, that's what I want you to do because I'm better than you. Man, I'm just telling you. I'm going to tell y'all what I love about Kyle Shanahan. Some people hate this about Kyle Shanahan. I love this about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has to be the cockiest coach in the league. Kyle Shanahan is very cocky. Kyle Shanahan steps into every game with this thought process. I'm better than that defense coordinator. I'm better than him. And he knows he has to take away Christian McCaffrey. But guess what I'm not going to let him do? I'm not going to let him take away Christian McCaffrey. That's what the great ones do. They take that challenge, man. Kyle Shanahan is cocky as they come. This dude coaches like a player. This dude takes every single challenge and say, this dude is so cocky. He won't even have his wide receivers and he'll go, oh, you don't think I can beat you without them wide receivers? I'll beat you without them wide receivers. Because it's not the players, it's the play calling. That's what the Cowboys need. Because when you put elite players with elite play calling, that's a recipe for a Super Bowl. Y'all don't find it to be strange? During the Jimmy Johnson years, we talk a lot about Jimmy, but there's a man by the name of Norv Turner that when they gave him elite players, he had elite play calling. There's a reason why they won those Super Bowls. Dave Wannstedt elite defensive play caller. When you gave him elite players, you got Super Bowls. That's how you win the game. Man, when you got these kind of players the Cowboys have, I'm sorry, there's no excuse for me. 72 Chevelle, let me tell you something. We better not be having this same talk next year. Because I'm going to tell you now, if we're having this same talk next year, Schotty won't make it past next year. I don't think Jerry's going to have that kind of patience with Schottenheimer. Jerry will not take, I could be totally wrong, but I don't think Jerry will take a 9-8 season out of Schottenheimer next year. Especially with what Jerry's going to go do in the offseason this next coming year. You watch and see what they have on this team next year. You think this defense had a few players? Quinnen, Overshown, Savon Revel Jr., you just wait and see what they're going to do in the offseason. I will not be surprised if Max Crosby ends up here, Trey Hendrickson winds up here, some other big-time pass rusher, maybe one of those guys from the Houston Texans. They are going to go out and get them a pass rusher. You watch what I tell you. They are going to put players on this defense. They're going to stack them on here. They're going to stack those players on here. They're going to put better players on here. They're not going to take any excuses. They're not going to take any excuses, man. Jerry is at his wit's end, man. Jerry understands the crypt keepers behind him, bro. Jerry understands the crypt keepers behind him. Jerry's trying to get it. And I'm telling you right now, boy, Jerry is out of his mind mad right now. He just don't know. What can he do? Because in the grand scheme of things, I mean, if you fire Matt Eberflus now, I mean, how much better are you? Now, I'm probably firing him on Tuesday if it's me. But Jerry's probably not going to fire him. Jerry's going to give him 3 more games. And Jerry wants to be totally justified in letting go of Matt Eberflus. He wants to be totally justified. Not just that Jerry don't believe in playing coaches. He don't believe in paying coaches sitting on the doggone couch either. Ron Bowski said, yeah, but that's also a big reason why Christian McCaffrey hasn't been able to stay healthy too. I'll give you that part. Touche. KH, Kyle and McVay, I ain't mad at them. They're going to try to get it done one way or another. 2 very cocky coaches. They are ultra confident in their play, calling, and game plans. And when you give those players elite players, you get Super Bowls. Quasi Blake, Emmitt Smith, they prepared to stop him. Knew we were going to run the ball, and we did it anyway and dominated them. And Quasi, that's the problem. We don't have those players yet. We don't have that offensive line the Cowboys had. We don't have those players. The strength of this team right now is the passing game. And we are allowing teams to take the best part of our game away from us.
That's the thing. I think sometimes some of the guys who do it at the highest level are so smooth all the time that you think it has to look like that. It really doesn't have to. This is a little bit herky-jerky at the back end. It's not perfect. It's not pretty even. But the delivery, the ball, my goodness. I mean, we're going to watch this a handful of times, but that isn't.
If we don't think Dak Prescott can make this throw, we're crazy. You got to practice this. This is something you practice. You have to practice it. And this leads me to believe that as much as Shotty talks about practice, I'm going to tell you what I believe they practice. I believe the Cowboys come in with a predetermined game plan. I don't even know how much they study the opponents, even though I think they may study them some. But I think they pretty much determine what the opponent is going to do. And rather than them trying to attack that game plan of what that team does, they come up with a game plan from their own scheme and say, okay, this is how we're going to do this, this, and this, rather than saying, hey, we got to change a couple of things this week. We have to change a couple of things because that zero coverage is going to give us some serious problems. So how do we get about 7 or 8 deep shots in to move them out of that? Man, I wish let me tell you something. I wish it had been me coaching on the sideline. I'd have came out the box. First play from scrimmage if I'm the Cowboys. We about to set the pace tonight. We're setting the pace tonight. If I'm them, we're about to set the pace tonight. I'll be your Huckleberry. That would have been me. Or I'll be your Huckleberry tonight. George Pickens. First play from scrimmage. All I need you to do is just run straight down the field. That's all I want you to do. We can call anything we want to with the line, numbers, and we can do whatever we want to. But this play is going straight down the field. Not playing with these. I'm just telling you, I ain't playing with these people. That's me. Queen said, gee, I'm big on watching film. She said after the game last night, the reporter asked Jerry Jones, how did he feel so comfortable? He said, I studied the tape of the Cowboys. I don't believe Jerry studied tape like that. Queen, you believe he studied tape like that? I believe Jerry is listening to what somebody's telling him. Because if Jerry was truly watching film, Jerry would tell Brian Schottenheimer, he'd have told him 4 games ago, I do not want to see Kenneth Murray Jr. on the field again. Jerry would have told him then. If Jerry was watching film, he'd have told Brian Schottenheimer this game, I don't want to see another game where George Pickens disappears. He'd have told him them things. He ain't studied no tape. Hail Mary said, gee, Jerry hires these coaches. Should be mad with himself. He said, your pride in the beginning of the fall. Your pride is the beginning of the fall. He said, why bring in talented players and hire mediocre coaches? Hail Mary, I can't argue with you. Can't argue with you. KH said Jerry brought this in the past 30 years on himself. You know, I think Jerry, one of the biggest mistakes he made is saying that Schotty couldn't be the coach unless he was the play caller. I really believe Schottenheimer's a better coach than he is a play caller. I don't think Schotty needs to be calling plays. I don't. He is better at coaching. I believe you have found the coach you need. Schotty don't need to be gone. Schotty isn't the play caller. I think play calling takes away from what Schotty is. Oh, you said talking about the quarter. Yeah. Okay, let me go. Okay. Yeah, he said, how do you feel so comfortable? He said, yeah, I studied the tape of the Cowboys. Yeah. And again, I'm sure, you know, we know that's funny when he's saying that, but we know he ain't doing what he's saying. Hold on. Freddie said, so if Shanahan is so good, why hasn't the Niners lifted the Lombardi? Freddie, you ready for the answer? Because I got it for you. Because play calling, Freddie, it only takes you so far. Elite players can only take you so far. Elite play callers, they need elite players. You can get a good play caller with elite players, and he can win. He can win. Why? This is what Shanahan has been missing. He hasn't had that quarterback. The quarterback. This dude took Jimmy Garoppolo to the doggone Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy Garoppolo could not make the throw when he needed to. He couldn't make the throw. Brock Purdy, we saw the same thing. When he needed to make the throw, couldn't make the throw. Bottom line, where the rubber meets the road, you can win with good play calling and elite players, but it's hard to win with elite players, at least the Super Bowl. It's hard to win with elite play calling and just good to mediocre players. Shanahan has been let down by players. That's been his downfall. He's been let down by players. When you can take Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy to the Super Bowl, that's play calling. boy, that's play calling. Freddie, that's play calling, man. You're not supposed to take Brock Purdy to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy isn't even supposed to be getting paid. And I'm not saying he don't deserve it, because I don't believe in saying that. But I'm telling you, Brock Purdy ain't getting paid like that, man, if he's not with San Francisco, I believe. Shoot, man, I'm telling you, Kyle Shanahan is a master play caller. If this dude could ever get the quarterback, There's a reason why Shanahan was trying to get Tom Brady to come out of retirement. There's even rumor that when the Cowboys were talking about letting Dak Prescott go, rumor had it that Kyle Shanahan was salivating for trying to put his hat in the ring for Dak Prescott. Oh, I promise you. Shanahan's winning the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. I guarantee you Shanahan will win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. Doomsday said he don't think Shanahan do. I think he does. I think Shanahan wins one with Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott is an extension. He would be an extension of Shanahan. Man, let me tell you something. People do not understand how smart Dak Prescott is. Have y'all noticed that Dak Prescott don't wear a wristband? Have y'all noticed that Dak Prescott don't wear a wristband? Why do you think Dak Prescott don't wear a wristband? That tells you what kind of football mind Dak Prescott has. No wristband. Don't need it. Brian says he'll say the beginning of a play and Dak already knows the rest. No wristband. How many quarterbacks do you see looking at a wristband? Not Dak Prescott. Freddie. No, the Niners they've had some elite players. They've had more elite play calling. Defensively, they've had elite players. Offensively, some elite players. But where it really matters, quarterback. All they had to do was make some throws, and they did not make those throws. Bottom line. Shoot, Shanahan is the man, bro. If you can take Brock Purdy and Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl, let me give you another measurement. Shoot, I bet you Brian Schottenheimer couldn't take him to the Super Bowl. Doomsday. Oh, yeah, with Dak Prescott, he wins. He wins. Name me another coach. You couldn't name me 5 coaches that could take Brock Purdy to the Super Bowl. Can't name me 5 coaches, man. Shoot, you different when you taking Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy to the Super Bowl. Boy, you different. You are different. It's great play calling.
Absolute strike. I watched the ball handling here again. I'm not sure what that fake is. Holding the ball out like that. I'm not sure what this drop is. Where he kind of takes this extra shuffle back. But again,
this dude throws this ball off his back foot. This is why there is no excuse for Brian Schottenheimer, Dak Prescott, and these guys to not be should not have worked this into the game against the Minnesota Vikings. They were begging for this, and we wouldn't give it to them. They were begging for sluggos. They were begging for go routes. They were begging for deep crosses. They were begging for all kinds of trickery. We just wouldn't give it to them. We just wouldn't give them what they were asking for. Brian Flores is a great coach. But I am telling you, there is a reason why, and it's not just J.J. McCarthy, why they're 6-8. They were begging for it, and we wouldn't give it to him.
right tackle here, to me, I don't know if he doesn't think he has the gap to his right or what, but you'd love for him to stay on this. This is a massive throw. I mean, look when he goes to pull the trigger on this thing. I mean, the guy's right in his face. Got all sorts of black jersey right in his face. Thing's not even halfway there yet, and he's on the ground. I mean, just an absolute strike. The other thing to pay attention to here that I love.
Hot boy, I don't even want to imagine it. I don't even want to imagine the hot boy. Kittle, Azteca. Let me push back on you a little bit. You said, and let's keep this on Kyle Shanahan. Let's see here. Who did Kyle Shanahan face in those Super Bowls? Kyle Shanahan Super Bowls. Who did Kyle Shanahan face in those Super Bowls? I'm going to have to get me some Jeopardy music. Who did Kyle Shanahan? Because I know we want to debunk Kyle Shanahan, but you can't debunk Kyle Shanahan. Anybody want to take a wild guess? Anybody want to take a wild guess? Who Kyle Shanahan failed to in those Super Bowls? Anybody want to take a wild guess? I'm just going to show you that I'm just going to show you how good this guy is. And just because he hadn't won a Super Bowl, don't write that off as he failed. I'm going to give y'all just a minute to catch up. Who did he fall to? Who did he fall to? Let's make this into a trivia question. Who did he fall to in the first one? And who did he fall to in the second two? And then you'll have your answer on why he hasn't won that chip yet. You will have your answer why Kyle Shanahan has not won that chip. Because I'm going to have to, you got to see what it took to beat him. And you'll understand why he got beat. Somebody give me the answer. Who were the two teams? Who were the two teams that beat Kyle Shanahan in those Super Bowls? Y'all tell me.
Is the wide receiver. Watch the wide receiver. He is digging. Look at his eyes come in the bottom of the screen on the left. He's not looking back yet. He looks back there and up. You can see him adjust up, and that ball's halfway there. Where does it land? Right on the landmark. Boom, down the tracks. I mean, my goodness, perfect.
What this guy is explaining, you have to practice this. And the Cowboys should have been practicing this the entire week. How do you know what you're going to face? And you don't work on it all week. You don't work on it. How do you not practice this? You gotta practice this. They didn't practice this. The Cowboys, rather than practicing for what they were going to face, they said, how can we run our scheme against Brian Flores? That is not how you approach this game. That is not how you approach this game. How do I beat this? This is called practice. The Cowboys did not practice this. All right, hold on a second. All right, guys, we're getting ready to close here. Hold on a second. All right, let me go back real quick. Azteca, send me an email at Let's Talk Cowboys GBJ.com. Send that to me. I just put the email in there. Yeah, hold on just a sec.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him, bless him.
All right, Dog said she had taken as much as she could take sitting here on the podcast today. All right, Azteca, send me an email. I got something for you. I'm going to send in the mail to you. Appreciate that. You answered the question. We do realize that it took prime Tom Brady, of course, the collapse of Dan Quinn's defense with the Atlanta Falcons in 2017, Kyle Shanahan offensive coordinator in 2017 for the Atlanta Falcons. Do y'all realize it took none other than Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? I want y'all to imagine this. You are going up against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, prime Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, I think one of those years. I mean, they got speed all over the field. And Kyle Shanahan is going up against them with Jimmy Garoppolo?
No.
Man, bro, how you going up? Man, come on, man. Boy, you going up against Andy Reid, who is literally the best play caller, I believe. You going up against Andy Reid with Jimmy Garoppolo. Bro, that's where the play calling halts right there. You're not beating them. And he almost did. He almost did. Jimmy Garoppolo was a throw away. Jimmy Garoppolo was a throw away from beating Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Brock Purdy was a couple of throws away. This is why Kyle Shanahan, he can't get what he wants. This is the one thing he hasn't been able to get. Kyle Shanahan hasn't been able to get that quarterback that he wants. He had the defense. He had the wide receivers. He had the tight end. He had the running back. He had the line. He had the fullback. His weakness was the quarterback those years he went against the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, if he can take Brock Purdy to the Super Bowl, I know he wins them with Dak Prescott.
On so many levels. I mean, I bet I watched this thing 40 times the first time I saw it. It was an unbelievable throw, dime.
This goes to show you. Jeremy Betts. Go ahead and send me something to my email, Jeremy Betts. I got something for you. Send it to my email.
Connection. I just love to see
this quarterback that makes this throw. He barely sets his feet. He just threw it to a spot. Because that's how you have to beat this kind of defense. It's got to be trust between the coach. It's got to be trust between the coach and the quarterback and the wide receivers. There is no reason the Cowboys didn't run this play. I mean, minimum 5 or 6 times.
Preparation, pattern recognition, everything come together to get the ball out of your hands quickly. Again, look at how much he's anticipating. All we see right here is the over on the left side of the screen. That post anticipation.
Quasi Blake, I didn't see you answer first. Let me see here.
Yet. They're still even.
And I think what happened, Quasi, you didn't get the whole answer. Let me make sure. At least from what I can see here on my chat, Azteca was the first one that answered. Let me go back. Yeah, Azteca is the first one that answered. Yeah, what I'm seeing, Azteca is the first one that answered the, let me see. Yeah, he's the one that got it. He answered it complete. Yeah, you said Mahomes and the Chiefs, but I said what 2 teams? I said what 2 teams? Now, Jeremy Betts said he messed up on his comment. And he actually did get both of them. He said, and. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. But it was Azteca who actually. Okay, hold on a second. All right, let me get this right. All right. So it was actually Jeremy Betts. He messed up on the comment. Second was Freddie Morales. You said as the head coach, he only lost to Mahomes and the Chiefs. I was talking about both teams. And then Azteca came back, and he also got both of them. Yeah, he got both of them for you before you did that. Yeah, he actually got both of them before you came back with even that comment. Azteca got both of them. Let me make sure. Yeah, Azteca got it. Yeah, Azteca actually got it even before. Let me make sure. Yeah, Azteca actually got it even before Freddie Morales. Yeah. It was Jeremy, and then it was Azteca. Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy and Azteca, y'all make sure y'all send something to my email. All right, let's finish this video, then we're going to get out of here.
Anticipating this throw. The big A on full display here. My goodness, so good. This thing got me so excited on so many different levels.
Yeah.
I love when offenses get an opportunity to not only block potential zero, free runner, even though the protection technically had it blocked up, it wasn't really zero. They weren't bringing everybody. Some of those guys didn't end up pressuring, but still the right tackle takes an L. It happens, part of playing quarterback, but he's able to see it in his face, stare down that thing, and have enough anticipation to get that thing off with enough strength, touch, torque to drop that thing in from a helicopter. Where? Right down the tracks, right down the hash, literally in the trash can, in the bucket for the quarterback drill. Just so good on so many different levels. Love to see it at any level of football. Really excited to see it at the college level. Exciting stuff. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a great video on how to beat cover zero. That is a great video, and I'll probably do some more of this this week. Probably find a couple of more videos on how to beat cover zero. And the reason why this is going to be important for the Cowboys is I think they're going to see some of this against the Chargers. I think they're going to see some of this against the Chargers. They absolutely are going to see this against the Chargers. That cover zero is... That cover zero, you can beat that cover zero. The Cowboys, they did not practice this enough. You have got to practice going against this play. This is something that you practice and you just say, hey guys, we're going to spend the day practicing on these throws right here. We want Dak Prescott to get so comfortable with this throw that it becomes second nature to him. All we want Dak to do, don't even look, just drop back, throw it. Let's practice throwing it to a spot. Let's practice throwing it to, and I would just say, hey, let's practice on throwing this to 3 hot spots. Deep left, deep middle, deep right. Practice those 3 hot spots. Practice that with Flournoy, Turpin, Lamb, Pickens. Don't seem like the Cowboys did this. Just don't seem like they did it. Don't seem like they did it. But again, Hot Boy, I wish I had his email. I'd send it to him. Hot Boy, if I had his email address, I'd send it to him. I would. I'd send it to him. Beating that cover zero, it takes practice. That's what it takes. It takes practice. How do you know you're facing this? How do you know you're facing this? You know you're facing this before you face it. And you don't put extensive work into beating it. And it seemed like the Cowboys wanted to beat it their way. The way they chose to beat it were the screens. I noticed they were trying to run the screens. Cowboys, if you ask me, they're not a screen team. Javonte Williams, at least this year, he's not a screen running back. Malik Davis, I think he's a good running back. But I think if you're talking about going against a team that aggressive, Malik might not have been the guy for you. You needed a running back who is good in the passing game. That's why I say I think Jaden Blue could have possibly flourished in that particular game. Because you need a running back who got very good hands. He's got to almost be wide receiver-esque. He's got to be able to catch that ball, tuck it, and then he turns to a running back. I don't think that's Malik Davis. I don't think that's Malik Davis. Y'all tell me what you think. We're going to be back tomorrow. Overreaction Monday is over. Now it's back to reality. Cowboys got to win. Ron Hanna said cover zero is a defense you run when you know you get home, and 2, you force the ball into coverage. And Ron Hanna, that's why as the offense coordinator, I'm going to figure out how to beat you. I'll make that quarterback have an extra 2 steps back. We'll practice that snap. I'll practice all week long. Deep post, deep goes, go routes. And I'm rolling. I'm rolling and I'm beating you. I'm rolling and I'm beating you. Rumbowski says screens don't work when your runner is chirping and refuses to attack the openings. That's another reason. That's another reason. They are trying to use players who are not running backs in running back situations. Stupid. They're showing you they need Jaden Blue, but refusing to use Jaden Blue. You need that type of back to do some of the things they've been trying to do. Freddie, he says, do you think Mendoza is there when the boys selected the 2026 draft? If he is, you think they take him? No. Cowboys aren't taking a quarterback. I think the Cowboys are sold on Joe Milton. I think they're sold on Joe Milton. Because I'm going to tell you this, and I don't believe these stories, Freddie, but we'll take this with a grain of salt. They were saying that Joe Milton was challenging Drake May. I'm struggling with that. They was trying to talk about Drake May like he was like trash. I think Mike Vrabel looked at some tape on practices and whatever. And I don't think they just went with Drake May because they drafted him so early. And Drake May has looked pretty good this year. Drake May is in the MVP running. And I saw some things from Joe Milton in the preseason. I mean, we're talking about just running general plays. He didn't look like that. So I'm saying all that to say, though, I think the Cowboys really like Joe Milton. They're not going to draft a quarterback. The Cowboys are not going to draft a quarterback, I believe, until 2027 or either 2028. I think Joe Milton will probably be a bridge quarterback, but he's not the quarterback for the future. No, they won't do it. Now, if that running back is there, if that running back is there, was that from Notre Dame? Shoot, I know they ain't passing him up. Ron Hanna said, Cowboy staff as a whole to me, G, has been a disappointment, failing to proper. Ron Hanna, this has been one of the biggest failures. Rombowski hit on the offensive line has been a disappointment. I agree, because Guyton has not been what the Cowboys have needed. Can't stay on the field. We're not talking about this enough, but Guyton, man, can't stay on the field. This is 2 years in a row this dude has been hurt. He can't stay on the field for an extended period of time. And their adjustments, not good. Situational football, not good. Hey, they're a rookie coaching staff. We're going to see what they do next year. But in the meanwhile, they got to go ahead. They got to still got to continue to win. Big Rombowski said quarterbacks are always inflated come draft time. Yes. Mendoza will be one of the top quarterbacks taken off the board quick on the draft. Probably so. Hot Boy says same thing Mike McCarthy used to do with Tony Pollard and just run him up the middle. Our coaches never try to stick to a player's strength. Say it. Say it. People are calling this Marty ball. But Mike McCarthy loved to run between the tackles too. He didn't want to do any hardly outside running. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. I said I was only going to go to 8:30, but it's wound up being 10:12. And I don't think any of us were actually interested in the game that's on tonight. This becomes the cruel reality of the NFL football season. It's almost over, guys. The NFL football season is pretty much over. We got about 2 to 3 more months of football. The bad part is, unless the Philadelphia Eagles lose out and we win out, we will not see the Dallas Cowboys the last month and a half to 2 months of the season. Unless the Philadelphia Eagles lose out, our train stops in early January. And then the cruel reality is we have to go another, 5-6 months without football. Say it ain't so. But it is what it is. All right, guys, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We're going to be back tomorrow. We'll get into that Shotty Presser and Steven Presser. I'll probably listen to that tonight. I'm probably just going to take some of the best pieces from it rather than boring y'all listening to the entire. I might listen to the entire Steven press conference with y'all, but I'm not going to listen to the entire Shotty. He'll probably have another one tomorrow for all we know. So if we have another one, we won't even listen to this one. We'll just go on to that one. But I do want to hear Jerry and Steven tomorrow because I think that'll be some tea leaf stuff for us. So again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. 22,000 strong. Let's push on to 23,000. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.